Welcome to the Next Dimension Podcast, your portal to an extended reality. Every week we talk about the hottest topics in XR and let you join the discussion live on MRTV. And now, get ready for another exciting episode coming up.
Hi and welcome to Season 2, Episode 21 of the Next Dimension Podcast. And I can feel it. This episode is going to be epic. I'm very happy to say hello to Artur Sychov, the CEO of Somnium Space from the Metaverse. Artur, how are you doing?
Hello, doing great. Thank you for invitation. Happy to be here.
You're very welcome. I'm so looking forward to this. And, of course, Bradley. Sadly, it's Bradley Lynch. Brad, how are you doing?
Hi. Good.
You should have said, I'm Brad.
Dang it, you're right. Oh,
I'm man. Come on, let's do the whole thing again.
Restart the show.
Hey, and today here with us, Bradley.
Hi, I'm Brad.
Oh my goodness. All of this goodness will be coming up. So yeah, this is
okay. I have to say my tagline. See you on the other side of the metaverse. Okay, I'll say it in the
Very cool. Yeah, you can tell we're going to have a good time today here. Yeah, my name is Sebastian. I'm the founder of MRTV and the host of this show. And for all of you out there who have no idea what this show is all about, well, it's about virtual reality right now, probably in the future also augmented reality, but right now it's about virtual reality. And well, we are live every Saturday at 9 p.m. Berlin time, 8 p.m. London, noon in San Francisco, and 3 p.m. in New York City. Brad, where exactly are you located actually in the States?
I'm in Florida. I am a Florida man. Yeah.
Right. So it's 3 p.m. there?
Yep.
All right. Cool. Yeah, and Artur, you are in Prague, right?
No, I'm in Prague, but this time I'm in Lisbon, so we're not that far away from each other.
Oh,
Brad.
Lisbon! I love Lisbon. Lisbon is so cool.
Yeah, Lisbon is great. The weather is nice right now.
Fantastic city.
All good.
And it feels a bit like San Francisco, actually, right? They also have
Exactly.
the bridge. It's also like very hilly.
Hills. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Very cool. Yeah, so for all of you who don't know this is all about VR. And, well, you can watch us live on MRTV, but you can also listen to the audio podcast that is on iTunes, on Google Podcasts, everywhere where you can find podcasts. And if you like us, then absolutely give us a 5-star review on iTunes. So get out your iDevice right now, find the podcast app, find the show, and then give us a 5-star review. Yeah, so lots of things that you have to do in direct succession, but I'm sure you can do it, and we would be very glad if you could.
They'll handle it. They'll handle it.
Right?
I believe in them. Yes.
I believe in them too. Yeah, very cool. So today we have some hot topics, and I'm so happy that I really have the VIPs talking about these topics. It's going to be so cool because these two really know what they're talking about. Obviously, we're going to talk about the Cambria leaks from Brad. Finally, I don't have to talk about your leaks, but I can talk with you about what you have found out. And that's going to be so cool. I'm very much looking forward to it. We are also going to talk about the news that came out last week that Meta, they're so good people. They want to give us the chance to make a living in the metaverse. Right, Meta? I feel touched, right? We will be able to make a living in the metaverse. There's only one drawback. They might be taking 47% of what you're making. Ooh! That is unfortunate. I'm not so sure if you actually own the stuff on the blockchain. But, well, let's ask Artur about it later because Artur is the CEO of Somnium Space, and Somnium Space is a metaverse, right? Artur, in 1 minute, for all the people who don't know what is Somnium Space, could you please let us know what is Somnium Space?
Sure. I mean, look, we are a virtual reality platform where you can build stuff. You can, import your own stuff. You can build worlds. You can build avatars. You can build buildings. You can socialize here. But everything you own and everything you build is on the blockchain, so you can trade them freely at any decentralized marketplace. We cannot block you from trading that. And you can sell your creations like avatars, cars, buildings, art, and whatever you fancy creating, maybe even worlds. And it's on your hands, and you can as simple as you can enter Somnium Space as the platform, the same way you can exit it if you want to, and you are not bound to for us to controlling all your assets.
Okay, that's good. So I do have something. I do have an asset in Somnium Space. I bought it like a while ago. It's a parcel, and there's something on it, like a house. So it means even if I totally piss you off, you won't be able to take it away from me.
Nope. You can just go and sell it. And you bought it actually very early. So you can actually, not only you can say, Artur, you know what, go beep yourself, but also you can go sell the parcel and probably make a lot of money. But hopefully you will never do it.
You're not going to take 47% off of me, right?
No, we're actually going to take 7% of you.
Okay,
so
that
40%
sounds...
less.
That is okay. We're going to talk more about that later. Yeah, yes. Also, obviously, we're going to talk about this year, the Pico Neo Link. The Pico Neo Link is a new VR headset, or actually it's an older one. And the company, Pico, they're having a beta launch in Europe, and we're going to talk about that launch and why are they not in the States, and does it make sense, all that launch? What does it mean for the future? Is this real competition for the Quest? So lots of interesting topics today. So really cool. I'm looking forward to finding out what you think about it. Brad in the States not having access to it, or in general, and also Artur as a maker of a headset yourself, right? You're still making the Somnium Space headset, aren't you?
Full at work. Yes, sir.
Okay. Who knows? Probably you can tell us a bit about it today. I mean, before this show started, I already said, like, hey, Artur, you can save us a lot of time. Like, you can save Brett lots of times not having to go through the Somnium Space code. You have to find anything about your headset. And you can save us time, so I don't need to send you emails every day as in, okay, send me the prototype so I can show it here.
I promise you, I say something. I think it will be something exciting, and we'll see. We'll take it from there.
Yeah, okay, cool. Very cool. Bradley, did you do any digging on Artur's headset yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. But it might pique your interest. What's happening here today? Okay, let's see how that goes. Very cool. Yeah, so very cool topics and amazing guests. So wow, I'm so looking forward to that. Before we go into the topics, normally I ask my guests, what did they do in the last week? So yeah, let's also do this. And I would like to start with you, Bradley. So how does your normal work week look like now? Did you go through some code again? How was your last week? Oh, I think you had a very exciting week. Tell us a bit about it. Don't go into detail yet. We will go to that later in the show, but a bit would be cool.
Let me just say, like, this week was a little bit more relaxed, but not completely. It never is. But the beginning of the week, I was able to get the correct information on what Cambria will look like, the version that's actually being produced, or is the final version for the production model. And then I got together and got a render for that, and thankfully most journalists updated that. But most of my work weeks is generally working with people. I want to emphasize that because I do like to say this is a community effort. I'm more just like I do a lot of work too, but I like to give them more credit. And it is data mining kernels that have been leaked for example, Cambria. We have a lot of leaked kernels up until I want to say January, and we go through that. I talk to supply chain sources, so I'll stay up late just for that, to sort of better align that kernel information, because companies like Meta are always working on prototypes even if they're not in the production version. So if we can I can align the information, figure out what will be an actual production version. But also this week there was a SteamVR beta update, which I obviously love data mining those with my friends, and it was a short one. But we got some cool information about the future of SteamVR and what is a compatibility mode where you can simulate other headsets and the controllers for those headsets. So that's a really
Wow.
cool feature. Yeah.
That sounds really cool. Yeah, probably there are some people who are listening now to this podcast and who are wondering, well, who is this Sadly It's Bradley? Well, let's update those people. Like you have been, you are a YouTuber, or you started as a YouTuber. Could I say it like this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I'm still technically a
Yeah,
YouTuber, I
yeah,
guess. Like, I
right.
don't like.
I was just waiting. Wait a second. Is he not a YouTuber yet? Already?
No,
Or what?
no. The reason why we bring this up is, I think Upload VR did a tweet about like my Cambria leaks or whatever, and they said
Right.
a YouTuber found this information, and there was a few people being a little, I would say, not mean, but they're saying, oh, he's not just a YouTuber or whatever. But I'm totally fine
He's
with
a
being
golden
called
god.
that. Yeah, like people put me on a very high pedestal, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that, but it's okay. I do definitely like to call myself an analyst a little bit at this point. Even though
Okay, yeah.
I'm not
It
perfect,
sounds much
but
better.
Got it.
it just sounds nicer. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Like when you do find something and you really believe in it, being called an analyst does sound better than a YouTuber for sure.
The
But I
analyst
still don't
and
mind.
YouTuber.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh my god, that's
But
very good.
yeah, I did start out doing YouTube, and I've only been
Right.
doing this analyst stuff for like almost a year now, and it's really exploded more than I could have imagined for sure.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
killed it. You killed it, man, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm reporting more about your stuff than anything else. So no, really. So it's absolutely cool, and congratulations. So I would like to ask, how did you get into this analyzing and kernel checking? Do you have to have like a technical background for this, or how does it work? How can I imagine this? Because like, I have a technical background, but if I looked into the code, probably. I don't know. It's tough to find something. It probably
So
takes more patience than I have.
Yeah, no, I think having a technical background does help. I'm not like a programmer or anything, but like
Okay.
I align myself with very other smart people too. And it's
Yeah.
again like whenever it's new Steam VR update comes out, we have an entire channel on my Discord that's all about data mining it. Like just
Okay. Oh, perfect.
and we can find out stuff very well. I started into it just reading patents. Basically, and I'm sure you can understand this, I got tired of waiting for a Valve VR headset announcements. I got tired of it. Like I was like, I can't wait for
So
these
you
guys.
made it
I'm just gonna-
yourself.
yeah, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
see what they've been working on, and I noticed Valve does not publish many patents. They're not like Meta and Apple that have like 20 patents a week or whatever. So this is a very attainable goal to figure out what they're trying to work on with patents. So start with that, and then I started doing a lot of data mining stuff with friends for Steam VR, and realized, wow, actually they really show off what they're working on for their next headset and like software stuff for VR in here. And obviously last time you had me on the show was for the Deckard. Like we found the
Exactly.
Deckard name and everything, that this was confirmed headset from Valve. And it really just kind of took off from there, right? Like I wanted to expand to other headsets because there are dry months where there's no Steam VR beta update or something. So then I started aligning myself with trying to figure out what Apple's working on, what Meta's working on, with Sony a little bit, not too much, because they're pretty much, they're already figured out now. But
Right. We know
it's
already.
it's all thanks to just aligning yourself with other people who are very passionate about this. And like, for example, I'm sure we're going to talk about Cambria later, but
Yeah, we will.
Basti and Somalia is just like very helpful people.
Great. Yeah, fantastic. So about the Deckard, is this still going to happen?
Oh yeah,
Yeah?
they're actually they recently I think it was a few weeks ago, they updated. So there's a driver file in Steam VR where all the Lighthouse stuff is, like anything that is made by Valve usually has a Lighthouse in it. And they that's where we originally found the name Deckard, like the code name for their next headset.
Yes.
Back then, we only found POC A and POC C. POC probably meaning proof of concept, so they were working on different proof of concepts for their device. But a few weeks ago, they added Mini D, which kind of we believe is past proof of concept phase, and maybe it's like a miniature like run, maybe to send out to developers or something. So they're working
or to
on
MRTV, bring it out here right now. Unfortunately, no.
No, but yeah, Valve's never really stopped working on it. Like
Okay.
I do more than just data mining and patents. I found like, again, that's why I was able to like at least predict or speculate statistics. Like I really do believe they're going to use like OLED micro displays in their next headset and stuff. And like that's just a lot of, finding the pieces and putting them together. So I do think we're going to see it. My guess, honestly, again, its prediction is next year will be the year that we see it.
Oh my goodness! Then next year should be very interesting, right? With the PSVR 2
So
and
much.
with the Apple headset, and then with the Deckard. Oh my goodness! So next year is probably going to be very hot, very exciting
And we have
times.
Apple too. Apple, like
Yeah,
I
Apple.
talked to someone a couple nights ago that who they talked to someone that's very in the XR supply chain, and they're
Okay.
like, they're super sure that Apple's going to announce by the end of this year for a spring actual like gets to consumers. So
Okay, that
we're
would
getting
make
close
sense.
to a big boom in this industry. I swear, it's gonna be crazy.
That would be wow. That will be a total game changer, obviously.
Yeah.
So one more question that I have for you: how did you get these connections in that industry? I mean, those supply chain friends.
Yeah. So I always say this as a joke, but I say I can relax after I do this video. I tend to say that in a lot of videos, like, okay, I'm done with Cambria, for example. I don't have to report on it anymore. But what ends up happening,
Then my job starts to try to get it and make through the lens videos.
Yeah,
it's the chain. It goes to you first, and then it goes to me.
No, but the thing is, each video I make tends to be a domino effect, where as long as I treat my sources with the utmost care, I don't give any hints to who they are.
Yeah.
I spend entire efforts to, instead of post a picture of something, I hire someone good at making renders to just, do that instead.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly.
More people are willing to come to me and help me out, and that includes from the supply chain. There's a lot of people. There's WeChat is like a Chinese social media, and people call me. There's someone
biggest. This is unbelievable.
One of the analysts on very very good VR analyst for Guartech, who mass produces most VR headsets. He will report stuff that I say, and he refers to me as the VR god. So like all this is being spread around.
Well, I love it. VR
Yeah,
god.
and then those people who just can't keep their mouth shut, they're like, oh, I gotta send this out.
You have to send this to the god. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Wow, VR golden god. I put the golden there. I like the golden. Yeah, amazing. Yeah, that's good. So it's like a virtuous cycle, right? That's how you call it. Like it gets better and better.
It does.
If you do your job well, if you treat the sources with respect, what you do. So yeah, that makes lots of sense. Yeah, exactly. Cool, man, amazing. I'm looking forward to find out more about how the Cambria leaks happened, without obviously like naming the sources, but also your thoughts about the device. What do you think about it? Because you did leak it, but I don't really know if you are excited about it. Probably you are, because you found out about it. We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about that,
cool. Thank you, Bradley. Yeah, nice. And now I would like to hear what's a week like for you, Artur, as the CEO of a metaverse company. I know, man, you're living and breathing it. I know you're going onto live television in the States from Somnium, right? Like
True story. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right. You've been on.
I think like 95% of my meetings, any meetings, and I like all the business meetings, everything I do, all the calls through Zoom and stuff I do from VR.
Yeah,
95%.
The funny thing is, me and Artur, we had a meeting like last week. I'm not going to say the name, Artur, no worries. But there was like a famous Hollywood star. A famous Hollywood star was there in the metaverse with Artur, right?
Yes, true. And I mean, to me, that was a huge honor, and probably our community would guess immediately. But yeah, so this is, again, I've started doing this like more than a year ago from VR, and honestly, it came from necessity because when I was talking to people were like, okay, but how does it work? What's Somnium Space? And I was like, how do I explain it? Like, how do you explain this on a Zoom call via webcam? Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
right.
I just said, wait a second, let me hop into VR. And then I hopped into VR and I said, hey, look, that's what Somnium, and that's how it works. Here's the card, that's the NFT, that's the avatar, and that's easier to understand. And by the way, one disclaimer: if for some reason I disconnect for a second, I'm in hotel Wi-Fi. It's actually pretty good Wi-Fi. It's 50 megabits up and down, but sometimes it goes to zero.
Okay,
What
okay,
happened?
got it.
So I'm just saying, I'll
Okay.
be back if I'm off for a few seconds. But yeah, I mean, how does the week look? Lots of development meetings. Lots of of course, every day daily meetup in Somnium. It's a given.
Yeah, you're still
And
doing it. You've been doing it since years, right?
Of course. Whenever, if I physically can do it, I will do it. If for some reason, for example, when I was on the road to Lisbon, I was not able to
Yeah,
attend it, even though I tried a few times from like we did in Somnium WebXR client and stuff. But yeah, so lots and lots of meetings and a lot of iterations, calls with the team. Discussing the features, discussing the releases, also communicating with community about their wishes, the bugs, and everything else. And also lots of this week was actually full of interviews and interesting discussions because Vice Media wrote about Live Forever mode, and it just blew up, and more and more people wanted to talk about it. So I did 2 TV interviews. Probably they'll go out next week and stuff. So yeah, just a lot of mixed stuff, but mostly it's development meetings with the team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so also Eric Hartley just says, I saw Artur and Somnium are about to launch a program to record the users and allow them to live forever within Somnium Space. So allowing folks to interact with them after death. Wow. So tell us a bit more about it.
Yeah, I mean, this was in our plan since the very beginning, and the idea just came because my father was diagnosed with a cancer 5 years ago, and sadly he died. But it struck me that actually, how can we use this tech? Because I think we all agree, VR is revolutionary technology. Not everyone understands that yet, but that's fine. How can we use this technology in order to preserve someone's just some person, and because VR can bring you a lot of possibilities to record your movements, your voice, obviously in spatial environment, even your biometric with Tesla suit and stuff. It was obvious to say, hey, why don't we record you if you pay for it, if you want it, because we want people to pay for it just for them to understand, hey, first of all, we have to collect a lot of data, and second of all, they have to understand our business model is not to sell their data later. It's actually using that data to recreate them as digital human beings. So that's kind of what this feature is. This year, we hope to start recording. So we'll release the feature for you to start recording yourself. And then next year, we'll be trying to apply AI to the avatar to actually recreate you once you're not logged in, for example, or if someone happens to you, hopefully not. But
so it
life
means
is life.
when I'm not logged into Somnium Space, my avatar will just go to the kitchen and grab the adult beverages and just keeps on chugging them.
I think it could be depending
right?
what you will be in real life. But actually, I think the real use case would be like, hey, you have a parcel here and you have a gallery, and then someone comes in and asks, like, what's that? And you'll say, hey, I mean, this is the gallery. I mean, this is my build, and you could like. Again, it would be up to you or up to that digital human being to do whatever they want. Right? We don't know.
Sure.
We'll see.
Okay, so I could record like certain 3D videos. What I'm doing.
It's not 3D. It's not 3D videos. You will be so all your motions, like what I'm doing right now, will be recorded. It's not a video. It's not a video. It's actual, movements and coordinates and spatial recording.
It's very similar to what Rec Room also has. You can record like messages and put them somewhere and have them play, like some kind of holo projector.
Correct, but it will be this, but I think more data will be collected, more precise data, because for example, with Tesla suit, we could record your full biometrics, your stress levels, your heartbeats, and many more things. and we could feed that information further on down the line to recreate you more accurately.
I see. Yeah, the area around you, I can recognize it. It was where like a very cool concert was happening, right?
It's one of my It's one of my most favorite areas in Somnium. We call it Magic Forest. It's next to the city center. We do some concerts here. We do some gatherings here. But I think throughout the video I'll walk around and maybe show you some other worlds. But yeah, this is a great one.
Yeah, this is beautiful. Yeah, cool. Yeah, all right, cool. Thanks for letting us know how a typical week in the metaverse, in the Somnium Space metaverse looks like. Very cool. So, yeah, I know that you're very busy talking with lots of people, making things happen. It's crazy. I know that you're always very busy with what you do. Yeah, cool. While you walk around, let me also tell you guys what I've been up to. Obviously, you know it. Whenever there's a new headset coming out, that is when I have crunch time, because people want to know everything about new headsets, and I will give them everything they want to know. So obviously, I was onto the Pico Neo 3 Link, which actually is the Pico Neo 3 Pro. They just rebranded it, and they're going to sell it to some Europeans later this year. No, in May actually, and it just went live for the pre-ordering. And we're going to talk about this as the second topic today. But I did lots of things. I did a live show about it, like trying out the tracking live, trying out the wireless streaming live, and all these things. Honestly speaking, I really enjoy these live tests because, well, everything that happens, people will directly see it, and you cannot fake anything or whatever people might think is probably happening. So I really enjoy that. And then also, like, on the day it came out, I told people about it. Yep. So I was busy doing the Pico stuff and telling people about this headset. And later we're going to discuss what we think about it, what our thoughts are concerning their launch, and their plans for the future, and if this device actually, or the company in general, if they could become a competitor, a real competitor to Meta, and what's going to be next for them. So that was pretty much it. It was a very busy week. So whenever new headsets come out, that is really crunch time here at MRTV. Yeah, exactly. For Bradley, it's before they come out.
I was about to say that.
It's really funny, actually. It's a funny combination. Yeah, okay. So now let's... Oh, Artur, you're gone now. Are you gone, or are you going to change to real life?
Do you still hear me?
We hear you, yes. We hear you, but we don't see you.
That's the hotel Wi-Fi kicking in. 1 second.
The hotel Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, no problem.
Worry.
Yeah. Okay. So, by the way, Bradley, I really enjoyed your video where you touched the grass. Man, where was that? That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it took years of planning for this video. A lot of pre-production. It's crazy.
I think so. I mean, you had to get it all right. I mean, everything had to fit together.
Yeah, I had to wait for the correct equipment to come out to record it. It was insane.
It was insane. So
I'm glad that it got 9,000 views. Oh God, you got it.
I got it here. I mean, probably there are some people who haven't seen it. So everything came together for. Oh wow! But tell us how it felt.
It felt terrible. Like I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Oh yeah, okay. It was like there was a dog there before and releasing himself, or
I don't know. It just felt, in VR we want things to become real almost, but that was a little too real for me. Honestly,
it did. I was just saying, like it did look like super real, like surreal real. It was crazy. Artur, are you still trying to get onto your metaverse?
I'm already in. Just let me put the camera on, and I'll be back. Don't worry.
Good.
I love hotel Wi-Fi. It's the best one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so then I can already start to talk about Meta. So I read this beautiful article on Road to VR. Meta plans to take nearly 50% of creators' earnings in Horizon World. Wow. So for all the people who don't know what are Horizon Worlds, well, it's actually, that was what Artur is showing there, but from Facebook and probably not on the blockchain, I would suppose. So it is a virtual reality world that people can simply join with their quests. And yeah, people are supposed to create content there. To make content, like for example, games, and actually you have some world building tools that you can and should use to make worlds, to invite others to check out your worlds, to make games. And yeah, simply the idea is to let the users create the content. A bit like Web 2. Yeah, but now in Web 3, and yeah, Meta is so good. They want the people to be able to make a living in virtual reality, to make a living by selling goods, selling digital goods, selling their games in Horizon Worlds. So also what is being done in Rec Room, and also what people can do in Somnium Space. Artur is gone for some bowling there. Man, you shouldn't be bowling, man. You should
Hey, I'm here. I'm listening. All right.
Yeah, okay. No distraction there.
Exactly. I'm here.
You're good. Yeah. Anyway, so they want players to make content. Right, it's a smart idea, obviously, right? And actually, Artur, also in your world, right? People can make content. Like, you give them building tools as well. I know there's a builder in your PC client, and I could build a house. I can build whatever I want, right? In Somnium Space.
Yeah, there's a builder, and then there is an SDK, right? So depending on how deep you want to go into the rabbit hole, you can either use the builder, which is kind of like, I would say, mix of Sims and a bit of like a Unity editor and stuff, where you can like move things, scale things, put textures in, and use some other scripting techniques, which we provide for you to make your build kind of like living and breathing thing. Yeah. But yeah, if you want to go full scale stuff, you can use the SDK to upload avatars or full worlds, scriptable worlds, and that's where the fun comes in, of course.
Right. So also, like, Unity developers can create a scene, and they can put the scene into Somnium, right?
Correct. They can create a scene. They can script the scene. They can script the scene to do whatever they want to do. They can create like the full scale game and upload it to their world. Yes.
Right. So the bowling alley that you just showed us there, that is a scripted game.
No, yes, but that is the city center that was created by us. So the Annihilator VR shooter and the bowling and arcade hall, this is created by us. But you've seen probably when I was walking around next to the car, there was like orbs, and I'll dive into one of those. And those orbs are worlds which people create. And then you go into one of those, and you dive into another dimension, basically, and whatever that is.
Yeah, you will show us in a moment, right? Yeah, so let's get back to the topic. So you can do these kind of things as well in Horizon Worlds, in your quest, build things, and yeah, then sell them. And Meta explained that anything sold in Horizon Worlds would be subject to the same 30% fee the company charges developers selling apps through its VR platform. So that is the Meta tax, 30% directly goes to Meta. And then an additional 25% fee on top of the remaining amount. And that is here, then they give an example. If a creator sells an item for $1, then the Meta Quest Store fee would be 30 cents, and the Horizon platform fee would be 17 cents, leaving 53 cents for the creator before any applicable taxes. So if you happen to live in Germany, then still there's going to be 50% off that. Yeah, we have high taxes. We have high taxes in Germany. Yeah, but we have healthcare, which is
I lived there for 10 years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. You didn't live so far away from me, like 1 hour.
Yeah, true.
Exactly. Yeah, so that is expensive. I would say that was my first initial reaction when I heard of these 47.5%. Were like, What? That is friggin' daylight robbery. Are you friggin' kidding me? That's crazy. What are your thoughts, Artur? First of all, let's ask Artur about it. From the metaverse.
Yeah, look, I mean, where do I start? For me, the first question was not what. I kind of smiled, but to me, the question was like, why? Why do you need to? They obviously knew that if they showed something like that, that it will have a negative reaction, right? There's no way that people would say, hey, actually it's 47%. It's a very fair number. I think it's great. Thank you. I'm sure they knew, like, okay, that's coming. The backlash, kind of like source of some sort of a backlash is coming, and 47 is definitely a high number. And my question is why.
Yeah.
And I think I want to hear your opinion as well, because I roll back to it's very trendy right now to hate on Facebook and Meta and whatever. But to be honest, okay, if we look at Oculus in the past, right, and we say, hey, the promise was we'll never force you to log in with Facebook, right? And then when it was 2019. Yeah, but in 2019, right, they changed the policy, or it was 20. I don't remember exactly now. I think it was 20.
It was for the Quest 2, so there was then 20.
Yeah. So in 2020 they do this, and my question again was why? Why so early? Why so early? Why do you want to why are you trying to push people to the wall without not even having full domination of the platform, if that's what their plan is, right? That they probably want to dominate the market and have all people locked into their ecosystem, whatever. But why do you try to scare them so early? And with this greater 47%, it's like, why do you do this? What is why wouldn't you do something meaningful? And to me, I kind of have my theory, but I want to hear your theory. Why do you think they're doing it? Why do you think the number is so high? What's behind that?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's first hear what Bradley thinks about it first when you heard it.
Oh well, just to continue what Artur said, I think it's Meta has a ridiculous amount of they can do whatever they want basically, and it will eventually go away. But by doing it this early, I think it sets the standards of what you can expect future platforms if they're on the Meta platform and they have in-app purchases. Let's say their VR chat one day adds their in-game transactions. That's very similar. Hey, if you build stuff in VR chat, well then Meta's already kind of prepping the platform ahead of time by getting people expectant of yeah, we're going to take a 25% cut of anything that you get. When it comes to the actual platform itself, Horizons, I really don't think they care much. I think it's so early for the actual platform itself to be really taking anything, because the platform hasn't really proven it's good at all.
The platform has proven that it's good or not good.
It's not good. It's honestly not good.
Okay, I haven't seen it yet.
But comparing it to, I saw some people. Eric was kind of comparing it to Roblox. Roblox is a pretty bad comparison, but it's actually also a good comparison, because if you go on Horizons, and the only people that are in it most of the time are children, actual children. That's the same as Roblox. And Roblox, they take, I don't remember the percentages for Roblox, what they take, but it's ridiculous. And when it came out recently, there was a huge controversy last year. They were basically saying they could charge that high because they're basically turning children into unpaid labor almost, because these are the people that are only going to be in the platform. They're the only people that can be creating for other children. So it doesn't matter how much you pay them. But I do think it's more the other thing to get other people prepped that, hey, if you release a social platform on Meta and you have these things you build, these tools that you're selling in your competitive metaverse, and you're going to get these fees as well.
Yeah,
I think I partly agree with you actually, but I also think that my kind of theory is that I think Meta or Facebook, I still call it Facebook, okay? Forget about Meta. I think Facebook is, in my opinion, they feel kind of a pressure they are under pressure. Whatever that pressure is, it could be many pressures at the same time, like regulatory pressure, also financial one, because the business model they are currently having is slowly dying out. And we know it. Apple is pressing them hard, on the privacy stuff, and Google as well. And they're having this battle. They don't have their own platform. And I think pressure leads them to try to capture what they have already today in a much more aggressive way in comparison to what would they have done if they would have much more time, what they think they have in the future, and they would have been much more relaxed. Because if you're more relaxed as the company, why would you ever push your users? Why would you ever do something which is uncomfortable to your users? You understand, right? You have a comfortable position. You're building your vision. Mark is building his vision. Why would he push users to a corner where they are not comfortable to be today? He might want to do it later if he has this evil plan to lock everyone in his platform. But why do you want to do it today? Why don't you do it? Let people become more comfortable with your platform. And to me, this again, you only do it if you're under enormous pressure. If you're under enormous financial or other pressure, you would start doing things like this. You would kind of start, you start blinking earlier than your competitor, if I can use this analogy, right? Yeah. So that to me, that's kind of like reminds me a little bit of the situation. I have no idea whether I'm right or wrong, but it feels like this a little bit because I cannot find any other explanation why would they do something like that.
Yeah, that could be, but I personally don't think it's because of that they're doing this because they have pressure, because they're not going to earn so much money out of this in the beginning. In my opinion, probably this could be because Mark Zuckerberg is simply overconfident and he has nobody who would tell him, hey, that's not a good idea, because he has all the power, really all the power in that company. And there's really nobody who would tell him, hey, Mark, that is probably not a good idea. He's not in charge.
If you're overconfident, you charge nothing. Like if you're overconfident in the future of your platform, you basically charge like 0 to nothing because you say, "Hey, you guys build, we provided tools." That's to me overconfidence, right?
I think overconfident. Like for example, with the forced Facebook login, he just thought he can do it. He had this feeling that Facebook is great and he won't get this backlash. I think now
it's amazing.
I think now he understood that this Facebook thing has a bad connotation in the world, and that's why they changed everything to Meta. I think now they understand it better. But at that point in time, when they did this forced Facebook login, I think it didn't really, appeal to Mark that this has a negative connotation, that people will not be so happy with being forced to log in with Facebook.
I think that's why, though, like maybe it's overconfidence or what, but like I think there is confidence in doing this move because again, these people, like again, I liked how Palmer Luckey, he once said that Facebook bought Oculus, but Oculus ended up taking over Facebook in a way because that's like their new thing. They're all in on the metaverse.
Exactly.
And and when you talk to people in the industry, everyone believes this is the next computing platform after smartphones, like the next big thing. And if you prep your users and your developers and anyone releasing on any platform for their answer to this next computing platform that, hey, we're going to take a minimum of 25% of everything, including in-app purchases, that's just, again, you're just prepping people early, in my opinion, for what's going to happen. Yeah,
exactly. Totally agree with you. And there was also the problem with Big Screen, right? That Big Screen felt it was unfair business, that Big Screen had to pay 30% off of every ticket that was purchased for their movie theater, right? It's the same thing. So they are prepping people for that Meta fee. And that might be their next big business move for the metaverse. Obviously, I still think that another big revenue income source of revenue will obviously still be the same business model like now, like advertising, like super targeted advertising, because they will know everything of you, what you look at, who you meet, right? because I already see that future that Artur is in right now, where you are just like spending so much time in the metaverse, meeting your friends and probably really working, right? Going to work there and meeting your work colleagues in the metaverse. So
There's a lot of empty billboards in that space that could be packed with ads.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Artur,
not intentional, but yeah.
Yeah, this could be full of ads, man.
Yeah, but that's a user-generated world. Okay, I don't control this world, so
It looks cool.
It's amazing. He can put any kind of ads he wants here, but it's up to him and then up to users to decide. Hey, do I want to come to this world because it's full of ads or not? And and ads. By the way, having ads could actually be much more open, much more decentralized, and much more feasible and likable by users, because we are investors and we are partners with company like AdMix, and you've been on the conference, Sebastian, so you know what AdMix is doing, and that is a complete different take on ads than like Facebook has, right? Because that's more about transparency. It's about user deciding what they want to see, who wants to put their ads where, and things like that. So I think there's different approaches to different things.
Right. So Artur, what is the business model of the metaverse, of your metaverse, of Somnium Space? How are you going to earn money, or how are you earning money right now?
Super simple. I actually tweeted it like a few days ago after the article about Lifermo, because Vice quoted like me saying like there's a lot of data and you have to trust the metaverse company. And I said, if anyone, in order to trust a metaverse company, any metaverse company, their business model has to be transparent. It has to be ideally decentralized, and it has to be visible to everyone, right? Everyone has to understand, every user has to understand how the company makes money. Because in the moment when you don't understand how the company makes money and how is it possible that the company is running, spending millions of dollars per quarter and not charging you anything, or charging not enough, or then you're in a bad situation, because they have to somehow, unless it's VC funded, you have to somehow fund your business. And that's exactly what Somnium does at the moment. We make money from primary sales and secondary sales, and those are primary sales. Obviously, we do sell worlds, we do sell land as NFTs, we do sell sometimes avatars and limited edition assets, but also bigger and bigger part of what we earn becomes what people create and sell, right? People create avatars, tokenize them, and sell. We take 7% of that transaction. So these are kind of things. And right now we're finalizing our marketplace, like in-world marketplace in VR, where you'll be able to trade things like wearables and stuff. Like every time you do a transaction, we take a small cut of that transaction. And that is how we will and are making money today. Very simple. Anyone can look at the blockchain, scan the blockchain, and look how much money we earned. There are numerous reporting from outside, tracking all the sales, all the data. So you can have a look. You don't need my permission to actually look inside of it. So I think that's the beauty of it, and everybody knows it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard this so much recently. What is this blockchain thing? I'm totally kidding you. So yeah. It's a secret. Yeah, it's something very interesting. All right, so you are taking a little cut from all the sales that are going on inside Somnium. It sounds reasonable, and the 7% does sound more reasonable than 47%. That's for sure. So
I think on average we'll be around about 5, because we on some items like wearables and smaller items will take high volume items will take smaller fee. On some items like land, which can cost like $10,000-$20,000, we're going to take like a higher fee. On average, it will probably end up around about 5%.
Okay, that is okay. That is for sure good. So the advantage that Meta has is that they are putting their Horizon worlds in front of millions of people who are going to buy the Quest 2.
Is it an advantage, to be honest, given how it looks? Pro? No, I'm joking. I
mean, they just put that in your face, and then they probably can say, okay, we're taking 50%, because some people will find it okay, because they are happy they can make money anyways in the first place, right? Or what do you think, Bradley?
You know, what would be really interesting. I just had this thought randomly. You know, they're very big on social presence and having avatars be realistic. I wouldn't be surprised if they turned tattoos on your arm in these social experience into ad space for companies to be able to plaster ads as tattoos on your actual arms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do
Yeah, it might
see a
happen.
ton of different business models just for the advertising. Like I think people will be shocked all the different ways without just even having it in your, you know, like hovering in your view of how they can sell the entire digital world just to have ads in it.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh my goodness. This is going to happen. Now that you say it, I see it crystal clear. Yeah, of course. Of course it's going to happen. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Actually, this already happens. I think some of the users, in at least in Somnium, are planning or maybe already working on an NFT.
It's happening in Somnium.
On an NFT avatar where this is their wish. It's not us placing those ads. It's they're working on an NFT avatar where programmatically someone could change something and it will change, but then they can wear like some like that's a difference. But again, that's a user decision and that's his will and wish. But you know.
Okay. Yeah, but what I'm really wondering about Horizon Worlds, let's say you bought something off of somebody, probably, I don't know, you paid some, I don't know, Zackbucks or whatever it's going to be called.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I will not sleep today.
Yeah, so you bought something in Horizon Worlds. So you have your inventory of things that you bought or things that you made. But I'm really wondering, does that really belong to you? Is that somewhere on the blockchain, or is it simply like a world that's in Horizon Worlds? And if you say something offensive, if you say something that is against the code of conduct of Meta, then you will lose your assets, just like you.
Wait, what are we talking about? They have in their terms and conditions that they will listen to you and to all the conversations you're having,
right?
Plus minus 30 seconds, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. And in case someone reports it, they can re-listen to your conversations. Are you kidding me? Like that alone should be like, oh my god, you know, like what the hell?
1984. It's happening.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So honestly, to be honest, like, and I would go one step further when you say, will it be on the blockchain? They can say, yeah, it's on a blockchain. I mean, I can spin blockchain in like 3 days. And I can run it on 2 computers, and I will call it a blockchain and super decentralized, but nobody would understand it. Which kind of blockchain is it? How decentralized is that blockchain? You know, what kind of powers Facebook would have over that blockchain? All those questions would have to be asked if they gonna go the route of, hey, we are actually going to put that on the blockchain, because there's a lot of more questions behind that.
Right. Bradley, are you interested in metaverse? In these things, like all the things that we're talking about now, like creating worlds in VR? Because I know you love to make levels.
I think it's I like user content creation for these things. Like Neos VR, I spend a good amount of time in.
Oh, that is good. That is fun.
Yeah. I was just talking to some world creators actually, not too, like 2 weeks ago, because some of the worlds I really liked and I made a video on. And they told me their whole process. They built everything pretty much in Neos, right? With shapes and stuff. Maybe do some stuff with Blender. But what's very cool, I was talking to these people. They get a marker, and it's not like drawing on a chalkboard in the real world. You can draw 3D, with markers. By like, if you want to draw a spear, you just and they literally laid out the entire level plan in a 3D with markers in 3D, and like they would start placing pictures where they would plant a fountain here and there. So I love the concept of user content creation in these places. Horizons does it. I mean, Horizons is so limited compared to these that I can't really take Horizons seriously. I don't really. There's a lot of. I have a lot of personal disbelief that a lot of these platforms will be able to have a lot of compatibilities with each other with the content they create. Like, you're not seeing VR chat and Neos. Like, you can't visit a Neos world in VR chat, despite the fact that they're even using like a Unity rendering baseline. Like there's a lot of incompatibilities there. So I don't really believe in that one true metaverse idea, but I do love all the separate platforms that are coming out with the user content creation as the big thing.
Yeah, right. Artur, what are your thoughts on that, on compatibility between... Stop playing around with fire.
Hey, what do you have against my drone?
No, I like it. But tell us a bit more about how is it working? Is there any compatibility between Neo's worlds and Somnium Space worlds? Or tell us, is it possible? Or is it doable? Or are you doing it already? Or do you believe it's always going to be, okay, there's Somnium Space, there's Horizon Worlds, there's Neos, and everything is just like... sealed within themselves?
No, it's not going to be like that. And I think, so of course there's like compatibility, direct compatibility between like VR chat world. You can just take the world and with some few tweaks, you can even directly upload through our Unity SDK to Somnium, right? But I think, so interoperability, I have to give a shout out to Philip Rosedale, right? Creator of Second Life and founder of High Fidelity, which is now back in Second Life. In 2018, we have formed a virtual reality blockchain line with him, and with Janus VR, and also Admix was there. And we already at that time experimented with interoperability. Like, first of all, we spun some nodes and we ran some blockchain tests and stuff. And also, we created a portal where you can come into Somnium, into a teleportation hub, click High Fidelity, and within 10 seconds you are taken through the VR tunnel, and then you appear in High Fidelity. That worked.
With the same avatar, or?
No, with the avatar you have. So you connect the accounts, and then you just go, and that's
that
it.
makes sense. Yeah,
That already worked in 2018. I think interoperability, a lot of people talk about that in general, but there's a lot of technical and strategic / economical hurdles which we can overcome to actually get there. And I think, again, I have to get credit. We had a call with many founders of many virtual worlds like few weeks ago, a month ago, and like people were discussing, let's make interoperability and like all those discussions. And again, Philip said, hey, let's do a test. Can we find at least one use case where it will make technical and economic sense for both companies to work on something to make it interoperable between their worlds? Because I discussed it with many founders of virtual worlds, and it all boils down to, hey, I don't want to do it because, like, okay, here I have much more users, and I'm saying, okay, but I have here much more a revenue. It's always a clash of the interests of the companies. But I think blockchain is one of the steps which will bring us closer to that, because inevitably it has to happen at some sort, because like if I can have this avatar here, why wouldn't I want to have this avatar securely in VRChat and in some other platforms which can render this avatar? So
I think that at least that makes sense. Keeping the avatar.
I have a question about that though, because I mean, I guess at that point it's a consensual agreement between all developers involved for different platforms. Yeah, because like
it has in the beginning. In the beginning, it has to be okay. And this beginning, when I say in the beginning, it can be 7-year period beginning, right? It can be even 10-year period beginning. So this is definitely not something we're going to see very soon. There might be bits and pieces where it will make economic sense for both platforms to come together and say, hey, if you have this avatar, you can bring this into other platform. Great example of that is Ready Player Me. Their avatars, they're available on many platforms. There is a certain level of interoperability. You can use, can create a Ready Player Me account, you can create your avatar, and you can bring it to like 150 or 160 different platforms, including Somnium. And that's already, that's a start. That's a great start. But there are things we have to overcome in order to get there. So definitely, let me.
But getting past like the technological hurdles, there's always going to be developers that, like, for example, you go in VR chat in some of these worlds, avatars are far from child friendly, right? Like, just by design, people want to look like this. There's going to be platforms that are not going to want that art style or that adult theme
For
just
sure, for
popping
sure.
into those worlds, right? So
Horizon
that's why I
Worlds.
think it
For sure. Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's of course. That's like the rules have to apply and companies have to agree. So
Right.
definitely. There are technical, there are economical, and then there are consensual like things we need to overcome to get there.
Right.
But there is
Okay,
no
yeah.
question in my mind. There's no question in my mind that in the long run, and again, I don't know how long that long run is, but in a long run, there will be certain level, and I think that level will be pretty deep, of interoperability between compatible worlds. And I also think that the metaverse, like everybody now calls the metaverse, but the metaverse would look, it will have to be super immersive. It will have to be, I don't need to say like hyper realistic, but it will have to go more in the realistic side. So, in the long run. So I think in the long run, it will be shaped into certain like way, and it will look in a certain way so that many platforms which are working towards that direction will be kind of like ready to be interoperable at least, right? Because like I can render that avatar in VR chat, but like try to bring this avatar to Rec Room, it will explode, or like Horizons will explode if I try to bring something like that. Like obviously it's impossible. So
But
things like this.
I agree with most of what you're saying, but the realistic thing, I kind of think that's
No, when I
don't
say
feel
realistic, no.
Yeah.
I look again, of course, cartoon, but you can have a realistic, like I can make a cartoon-based world in here, right?
Yeah.
But I also need to be able to render like all of this stuff. That's
Right.
what I'm saying. It has to
Okay.
be ready to render the realistic stuff. It doesn't need to be the
Yeah.
realistic stuff. Everyone will choose their own.
Yeah, I agree with
Okay.
that. That makes sense.
Right. So, Artur, I'm wondering, can Somnium Space ever be on something like the Quest, when they actually will charge you 25% of what people earn?
No.
Or?
No.
Okay.
We have our own standalone client running on Quest as a side load. Of course, it's
Yeah,
in
right.
alpha and it's already working. But
On the
I don't
official
think so.
Quest store, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
come on. How do you like what? How do you like think? It's impossible.
Impossible.
I don't want to.
Impossible.
I don't
Yeah,
even
makes
want
sense.
to go that route. Like this is just like closed avenue. Literally like this, like closed avenue. Nothing.
Right. Yeah, right. Exactly. That was the perfect bridge to our next topic. Probably it could be on the Pico. Oh my God. I'm a magician making those bridges. And now Artur is gone.
No. I'm transitioning from the world into the base reality world. So I'm just waiting.
Base reality.
You see the black screen, but I'm seeing the transition, cool like VR animation, which is happening to me right now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think that's the topic. 47% Meta wants from users. I think it's going to be a tough call when there's other options that will take 7% or whatever, and where you can do more things. But I still think some people will be there and create stuff and earn some money out of it, right? Because just there's so many people, right, Bradley?
Especially if they, people talk about what if they just turn the Oculus home space into an automatic Horizon Worlds? Like you just
makes sense.
You turn on your Quest 2 and you're in Horizon Worlds by default,
Exactly.
That should have been done from the beginning. I don't understand how they didn't do it. I cannot imagine having all that like possibility. They didn't use like any of that. I'm absolutely baffled by that.
Yeah, but this will be like I don't know. For example, Windows automatically pre-installing their browser in that moment. It makes sense, right? But here in Europe, probably that they would get some trouble doing that kind of things. So Germany, we don't sell the Quest because of forced Facebook login, for example. Yeah, anyways. So I also agree, that is something that they should do. You put on the Quest and then you are in Horizon Worlds and you can build things and you see what other people are building. Probably it is going to be like this in the future. It would make so much sense. Anyways, Artur, I thought you wanted to come to base reality now, or you want to stay.
Oh my God! You want to see my face? You want to ruin this show?
Yeah.
No, wait. I can do it. Yeah. So give me a few minutes, and I'll be back. All right.
Okay. Perfect.
Can I use the same link you sent me to log in as a?
The same.
Okay.
Link,
no,
yes.
but I mean, if I log in before I log out here, I think it will work, right?
Yeah, you're fine. You can come back.
Okay.
Anytime.
Cool. All right. Cool.
Yeah, very interesting. these kind of worlds. Are you going to build something in any of the worlds, Bradley?
I built one world so far for VR chat, and it was something I put together in a weekend to do a Thanksgiving party. And it was actually this shirt I'm wearing. These are all the attendees from
That's cool.
Thanksgiving party I did in VR
That's
chat.
cool.
But
Right.
yeah, I do like creating stuff. I just always need to find the time to do it. It always feels great. Like, so for a few minutes while Artur gets going, I made some Half-Life Alyx maps, and those were like the first things I really like buckled down to create something for like a game or anything. And at the beginning of it was just like small experimentation. But when I put the headset on and can see the thing I was building like on a flat screen, but immerse myself into it, there's a very strong addiction in your brain where you just want to keep, it's magic. You really just want to keep recreating and creating more things, especially when you're VR involved. So yeah, I definitely recommend anyone try to just make their own world or whatever for any VR experience. They'll enjoy it. I guarantee.
I think so too. Like making something and then really stepping into it. Wow. Yeah. I think those people who make whole games, wow. That must be really the real magic. I mean, but even making a level, it's already very close to making a game, right? Because you're like recreating the game. Yeah, cool. Let me just go into the next topic already, and let me introduce what actually Pico is doing here in Europe or in general. So, yeah, the people who are watching MRTV, they totally know every single detail already, but probably somebody is just listening to the podcast and doesn't know what this is all about. So this here is a new standalone headset. Well, it's not so new, actually. It is from a company called Pico, a Chinese company that was recently acquired by ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok. Like TikTok is huge right now, right? The one of the biggest social media companies. And Pico themselves, they have been around for quite a while, and they are a headset makers. So even before the Oculus Go, they had a device that there was basically an Oculus Go. And also they had another Sixtoff standalone headset. So they have been at this game for quite a while. But then, when the Quest came out, they stopped to compete for the Western market. They stopped to compete with the Quest. Instead, they changed their business model and they went enterprise only. So they were selling these standalone headsets in Europe and in the US to enterprise customers. And that was very successful, actually. However, we as consumers, we did not had the chance to buy the standalone headsets, or we could buy them, but they were very expensive and there was nothing in the store for gaming. So yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. However, in China, Pico actually is a huge player, because in China there is no Facebook, there's no Meta, and in China you cannot buy a Quest, but you can buy the Pico Neo 3. And actually they are the market leader there for VR, for consumers. They have a store, people buy this device, the Pico Neo 3 actually, and they have lots of games, and everything is going pretty well for them. Now, like a couple of days ago, they had an announcement at Laval, at a VR exhibition in France, here in Europe, and they have announced that they are coming back to the Western market, first to Europe, with a beta launch. And they are launching 22,000 of these here, the Pico Neo 3 Pro, which actually they have rebranded to Pico Neo 3 Link. So the Pico Neo 3 Pro, or this headset here, this device that I'm having here, this is basically a carbon copy of the Quest 2. Everything's the same. It's really, really the same thing. It has an XR2 chipset inside. It has 4 cameras for inside-out tracking. The controllers work just the same like the Quest does, with infrared light that they are emitting. Everything is the same, basically. It's a standalone headset with 256 gigabyte of storage. You can play standalone games, and it is a carbon copy of the Quest 2. However, they do have something which is a little bit different. Here they have one extra port here on the top, and it has DisplayPort output. So when you connect this to your PC, you have a fully fledged PC VR headset. It acts like a native headset, and the video stream goes to the one panel, same panel as in the Quest 2, of course. It goes there natively, so there's no compression whatsoever, and it uses the full panel resolution. And I can tell you, the Link mode, it just looks better than Quest Link mode, even though Quest is great with Link and AirLink, really good. They have done a fantastic job at Meta, right? But it's still compressed, and you still can see artifacts. You can still see compression artifacts in dark scenes and so on. But here, this becomes a fully fledged PC VR headset when you connect it to your DisplayPort button. And, well, they are kind of competing with Facebook or with Meta even on the price. And that is something that no other company could do until now. Because all of the other headsets, like HTC, they also have a standalone headset, the Focus 3, which is like ridiculously expensive, like more than $1,000. Yeah, right? And it's not targeted at us consumers. But this is. And this sells for 399 UK pounds or 449 euros. Comes with a 256 gigabyte of storage, just like the biggest Quest. So they have price parity. But on top, they will also give you that 5-meter link cable, and they have a bigger battery, so you get 3.5 hours of battery life out of this, and they have this kind of elite strap right from the bat. So overall, if you compare the value proposition, the value is actually higher here. But you must also think that the store cannot compete against the Quest store. You know, the Quest store is amazing. There's so many games there. Everything goes to the Quest store, and it's clearly there where it's at, right? Then you have all the exclusive games that are coming to the platform, and all the studios that Facebook bought or Meta bought. There was such a smart move. So you won't see things like Beat Saber on this device, or you won't see Grand Theft Auto that we're all waiting for on this device, right? So the store, while it's not bad, there's actually way more than 100 titles, and also titles that we love. Right, like After the Fall is there, Red Matter is there, Hyperdash is there, like really a lot of good games. It's not like it's all like Chinese crap. It has really good. Yeah, I'm sorry, China, but you know what I'm talking about, right? They have really games that we know and love there too, but it cannot compete right now against Meta. Yeah, but still, it's an interesting proposition here in Europe, at least, especially for people who were considering, okay, do I get the Quest 2 or do I get something like the Reverb G2, right? If they want to have something that is visually pleasing in VR, they probably would go for the Reverb G2. But now they have another option, kind of, which is like in the middle, right? Because this is really a good PC VR headset. That is the interesting part. Yeah. So that is basically where it's at. I would like to know what you think, Bradley. What are your thoughts when you heard about this launch?
Yeah, I heard for a while they were planning to bring a device to the West. I think it makes a lot of sense that they're bringing it to Europe first, because all I can hear, I mean, I'm from US, but all I hear from Europeans is that Meta does not like market anything in Europe compared to like the US, for example, where the US you can go to stores, there's just Quest 2s and Walmarts and stuff, like cases and setups and everything. Horizon's not even in Europe or anyway in exactly. Any sort of
form.
I
can't get it at all.
Germany, exactly. Germany, right. It's not even sold. Right. I think them targeting Europe first was smart. As far as the hardware goes, I mean, it's I think it. So a lot of people ask me all the time, what headset should they get as their first headset? And if this was in the USA and people did not care about data or anything, which a lot of people just don't, like, it's the truth.
I understand. Same here. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of these people ask me specifically, they want a PC VR headset or something like a good value PC VR headset. And I usually don't have a good answer for them, honestly, as a first good value PC VR headset. But this device that includes standalone functionality and like actual, the compressionless tether, I would be telling people to get this, and like at least they can dip their toes in VR and PC VR, and then maybe they like it a lot, which they probably will. They can start spending more money in it. I think Pico is generally a sleeper in terms of what people expect from them. ByteDance, ever since they bought Pico, they're actually on a ginormous hiring spree just for Pico. Like it's actually insane what they're doing. And not just that, they have a very good Pico has a very good relationship with Goretech. Before ByteDance bought Pico, Goretech actually owned Pico completely. So any headset like Meta, all their headsets are made at Goretech. Sony, all the PlayStation VR 2 are assembled by Goretech.
Right.
That's a very good partnership to have. So they're
coming from the same factory like Quest 2.
Yeah, exactly. And
exactly.
Obviously it looks like it too. But
like this part, it looks exactly. They just put something black so it's not too funny.
Exactly.
Right? It's like unbelievable.
No, but I do think Pico, like, even though they were just bought like November last year. It's only been 4 months, right? And with that funding, if you believe that VR is going to be very competitive in the long term, I do think this company their social platform is destroying Facebook in terms of users and like everything with TikTok, and they can leverage TikTok to make this device even more desirable. There was a report that even in China, they just when ByteDance first bought Pico, they started using their TikTok ads to just push the Pico Neo 3 to consumers in China. And they actually raised their estimated sales in China because those just placing those ads on TikTok videos allowed them to sell way more even than they expected. So I know I'm talking a lot, but one more thing.
No, I love that you're talking a lot. It's perfect.
Yeah. So one thing that especially people really don't understand, and I think it'll surprise them. You're already seeing a little bit of this with VTubers, like the people that pretend they're anime girls and they make videos all the time playing games and stuff. Let's say that Pico releases a Cambria competitor with eye and face tracking. They can leverage their super popular TikTok platform and then have people able to use the eye and face tracking data with those avatars that people become very emotional about, and release videos instead of just, most TikTok videos is some guy's real life face and then reacting to a video. They can have your avatar face reacting to videos and just upload straight from the headset directly to TikTok. Like they can do some really great stuff for the age group they're targeting, is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed the whole business model there already now. Yeah, this could absolutely happen. Who knows? That might happen. But for right now, for this device though, if you want to use it as PC VR headset, you don't need any login, which I personally love. It feels so relieving for me that I can use the headset without having to log into Facebook, and also without having to log into Pico. That is cool. I can just use this as an offline headset whenever I use Steam VR, if I want to use PC VR on this device, right? If I want to buy something off the store, obviously, then I have to make a Pico account. However, the Pico account is, at least not now, not connected to any social network, which I personally really prefer, as you know. Yeah. Anyways, I want to ask Artur, what were your thoughts about that launch, about that Pico launch? You guessed it right, by the way. When I was teasing it with through the lens videos on my channel, right? And I was talking with Artur, and he was like, "It's Pico, right?"
Look, not only you have sources, right? No. To me, I think two things. Apart from it being or looking very similar or the same as Quest. I think, of course, one thing we announced on our Somnium Connect about our headset that it will have a direct PCVR mode, overcoming all the compression. So it's great that they're bringing it. This is definitely a needed feature. I think also a lot of people, and I see it constantly, I think a lot of people underestimate the power of innovation happening in China. Like, people still live in a world where they think that China is actually like a copycat, part of the world.
Dear world, China made the Quest.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is, they are not already like I'm a let's say heavy pro user of mobile phones, right? And I see the development even of the mobile phones and the platforms and how they are evolving. Like, Chinese phones overtaking any other phone in the world by capabilities. And I think, also software wise, they have improved incredibly. So the same thing I think will happen to many other VR companies like Pico, and I think Pico will be a huge player as well. I also don't think that there will be in the future that there will be like one or two or three like dominant players on the market of VR headsets which will own the whole thing. I would do everything I can not that to happen ever. Whatever we can do at Somnium to stop that trend, we will do that, and we will do contrary. So I think the VR headset market hopefully will be much more fragmented in terms of the hardware, so people will have more choice to choose from. So yeah, I think Pico, again, apart from it being the same copy of the Quest, offers a great value. I think it's definitely, as you said, really, I think if someone would ask me what do they need to buy as the starter headset, I would always right now say, or most always, depending on their budget, I would say, hey, Pico is the great pick if you are in Europe. If you're in US, I'm so sorry for you. No, it's just like you have to probably buy Quest if your budget is limited. So yeah, I mean, props to Pico. Hopefully they will be more responsible for their business models and treating of users than Meta and others. But we'll see. The time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, interesting that you would suggest people to pick up the Pico. Actually, now, if somebody would ask me here in Germany, hey, I would like to have a PC VR headset, probably I would also recommend it. Normally, I would.
Yeah. What else exactly?
Yeah. Normally, I would recommend the Reverb G2, which is a fantastic PC VR headset. As you know, I like it. However, now, well, this is cheaper, and you have the standalone mode, which is cool. And it's not like there's nothing in the store, really. They have like 200 things, and now because they came out now here, they have much more exposure to developers, because developers are also watching MRTV and other YouTubers, right?
Yeah, and like
also talk about Pico.
SideQuest could play a role in it. I mean,
knows?
there's a lot of there's a lot of things
knows?
which could happen.
So anyways, their store will get more exposure now. More people know about Pico. Probably some developers even didn't know that there is an alternative. Like Artur, like you, for example, you said, hey, I will never put Somnium Space clients onto the Quest. You will never be able to do so because of the 25% or 30%.
It's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's not about the money.
Okay. Yeah, But would you? But probably you would be thinking about putting it on the Pico store.
I can tell you, like, I don't think that's like on an immediate horizon. But and this is my personal opinion right now, and I have to validate it more. But I would be more open to explore a partnership with Pico or some sort of partnership with Pico than with Facebook, for sure.
Yeah,
that's if you ask me like this, yes, 100%.
Yeah, right. However, when people don't have a gaming PC, it would be tough to recommend it over the Quest 2, right? Because the Quest 2 has amazing value, and all the stuff that they will want is there, right? They want to play Beat Saber, they want to play Grand Theft Auto. They want to play some other exclusive games, right? So if you think just standalone, I think right now the Pico will have a tough time to compete against something like the Quest 2.
I think that's a matter of time. I think that's just a matter of, like, in terms of resources and money, I think ByteDance is much better
Yeah,
positioned
they
than
have.
Facebook.
They have
but they're much
yes.
better positioned for the future. While
Yeah.
they
Because
they
people
they
love TikTok and they don't love Facebook. The young
and I
people,
think
right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and I think
it's a fact.
Exactly.
yes, and I think even beyond that, like the business model, the business approach, and all of that stuff, I think they're much better positioned financially and strategically as the company than Facebook. And it comes back to my
Yeah.
theory that Facebook feels being pressed to the wall, either by regulations or by competition like ByteDance. That's why they start doing and blinking earlier than ByteDance and Pico, because they have to, while ByteDance doesn't have to. And I think these are things which will affect the future decision making on their side. Again, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'm just telling my opinion, but that's how I feel it from the management point of view and from like company standpoint.
Okay. So obviously there's lots of data privacy concerns with Facebook because of their business model. But how about ByteDance? Wouldn't it be the same thing, but
Of
even
course.
worse because it's even China? I mean, like
Why
honestly speaking,
words? Okay, wait. I want to
no,
talk to
but
people
no, but
always.
really, but I really mean it. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
are your thoughts?
think
Artur?
think about it. Like if you have to choose, okay, both data mining from both of that is bad. Okay, we can agree on that.
Yeah, you're right.
And
Right.
any data mining of users is bad. But if you, as the Western European or US citizen, have to choose which country do you want your data to be mined and used against you in the future, what do you choose? Because here in US or in Europe, they can mine the data and use it against you because you live here. In China, you're like, okay. I mean, they have a lot of data about me in China, but like it's in China. I live here. Maybe they can target me better, but they cannot use they can go hardcore on me if something happens or whatever. So I think generally speaking, like having data mined by any country is bad. But if you have to choose, I'd probably choose something which is much further away from me. Than which is directly next to my nose,
I never
mining
thought
my
about
data.
that, though.
Yeah, mining my data right here, and then someone would say, "Hey, actually, we learned about what you are doing, and you are spending too much time in VR, and you are living in Germany. We want
That is
to
genius, really.
we want to execute your some powers above you because we control your data.
Okay.
You're not in China. You don't care what they mine about you." Like literally, because that cannot be probably used against you on that territory. So this kind of things, like people have to realize that okay, who is data mining, why they're doing it, what data are available. I mean, if you look about privacy scandals right now with Apple, Google, and the government interconnection between that is a huge, Pandora box. Which, if you dive deeper into that, you understand how horrible the whole like ecosystem is of data mining and data privacy.
Okay, but you know what, Artur? I think probably lots of people will feel exactly the opposite to you. They'd rather trust the American brand than the Chinese brand, which are on the long run the big geopolitical enemy.
Good luck. Yeah, but good luck. That's my only answer is good luck. Again, as I said, you have to please cut this into a short clip. Any data mining of any user is bad, okay? Remember that.
Yeah, of course. I agree with you. But what are your thoughts, Brad, about this? Would you rather have your American company know everything about you, or would you rather have like a Chinese company, which in the long run is the geopolitical enemy of America?
So I'm the worst person to ask this question.
Okay, we're getting so political. I love it.
Because I don't like any data. Like I've been always pretty outward about that. But when you compare countries,
you don't care about data?
No, sorry, I don't care. I don't like the data collection stuff.
Yeah, me neither. We're on the
same.
Yeah.
We're on the same. Yeah.
But
I hate it.
I'm the worst person to ask the specific what is worse question between China and US, because my wife is Chinese, and before COVID, I would travel to China a lot. So they probably already know everything about me over there, just from the process of getting a visa and just being over there in general. So
right.
Yeah, I'm.
Yeah, but I love it. Like you have a unique perspective. You have a unique perspective. You see the two worlds.
I also have a unique perspective about the whole thing with China, because my wife is Taiwanese. So it's I'm very sensitive to
Right.
Chinese matters, right? So I really understand the whole thing that's going on there. It's not fun. It's really like it's absolutely as serious as Ukraine is now. So yeah, I'm
And my
very well.
friends, I'm Ukrainian. And my
Yeah,
wife,
yeah.
well, and
This
I'm
podcast,
exactly. We know this truth. We know the truth. Okay?
we know what's going
We know-
on, and we're talking about something serious, something like headset. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So you know what I was thinking about, like my concern right now with Pico, that they are a Chinese company, is their content policy. I simply cannot. I don't think that it would be as open as Facebook's is. Like for what I'm talking about, I do think there would be some kind of political censorship, because it's the first time that a Chinese company has a content store in the West that I would use. So I'm wondering, what if somebody makes the most amazing VR documentary about Tiananmen Square? Can it be on the Pico? What if you think so?
I think so. I think people don't understand. And I don't know if you guys remember, but a few years ago, the U.S. made a big deal about ByteDance.
Yeah, I
where
can remember.
they were trying to sell off the U.S. portion to, I think Microsoft was even a bidder during that, or whatever.
Oracle wanted to buy it.
Oh,
I think.
Oracle. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what people don't understand is, yeah, obviously the entirety of ByteDance is owned by China, but I think the teams and even the stores and the platform itself would be very separate. Similar to how, I don't know if you know this, but there's a Steam China that's trying to flourish over in China. That's totally separate from the Steam that's everywhere else. And even though Steam worldwide is available in China and stuff here and there, the Chinese government doesn't really like moderate that, but they'll moderate their version, the Steam China,
okay.
right?
That makes so much sense. Yeah. I think you're right. Probably the Tiananmen thing, it can be here on the Pico Euro store without any problems, and they would have another store in China, right, where it totally will not be. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Probably that's also probably how TikTok works, right? Probably you can say everything that you want on TikTok world, but then there must be a TikTok China, and then suddenly there's nothing anymore about these kind of things. Okay, that does make sense. That does make sense now. Yeah. Interesting, right? Interesting thoughts. Yeah, but really for me it's like probably the first time that I would have like a content store where I buy things from that's really from China. Like I'm not on TikTok. So I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Are you on TikTok, Bradley?
No, I'm not.
No. Okay. Yeah, probably.
Actually, wait, I might be, because my wife made me one, tried to push me to upload stuff, but
yeah, right.
I feel like an old person when I go on there, honestly. Very big disconnection with the content on there.
I literally felt like my brain is being sucked out of me when I was watching this. So, like, but the same way I feel about like Facebook. I'm not using Facebook, but like when I logged in, like I don't know, some months ago, just to like check. When I look at the feed, I'm like, oh my god, away from it. Quicker,
right.
The quicker the better.
Like, can you imagine me trying to figure out how to cut down my 40-minute video analyzations and put them on TikTok?
Impossible.
I want to post it on Twitter, but I want to see it. Okay, I want to see it.
Right.
How to about headset leaks in 40 seconds.
that would be.
That's a great challenge. That's a great challenge.
That really is a great challenge. Yeah. Anyways, so the headset is really good. However, it is a bit dated. Let's be honest, right? It's a great headset, but we have seen this headset for already 1.5 years, right? We know this headset, so it lacks this kind of hotness factor. It is a really good headset, and I would recommend it to people in Europe who want to have a PCVR headset right now, because it has these added stuff. But if they only want a standalone headset just by itself, then it's impossible not to recommend the Quest 2. If you don't like, if you don't hate Meta.
For the hotness, you have to come to different companies, okay?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But anyways, I would like to ask you, Bradley, since you're from the States, what is your feeling about them not releasing this in the States? Because I know there's quite some disappointment going on. And I know that some people who are listening now, I'm looking at you, Q2C. They were like super disappointed that the device doesn't come out in the States. So what are your thoughts about they not coming out in the States, Bradley?
I think it's a matter of time, honestly. I know they're hiring an entire US team for Pico as well.
So it is going to happen, yeah?
It's going to happen. They might be waiting for the successor to come out when it comes to USA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so as well, yeah.
Again, when it comes to marketing versus Meta, who, again, Meta spends most of their marketing in the United States, that are releasing this device that's like like a year old or something like that, would just be noise to the US market compared to Europe, again, which we explained that Meta doesn't really market as well to Europeans. Yeah. But when they have a new device that might be a competitor to Cambria or whatever Meta has next, I think they'll go for it a bit more.
I agree. And honestly speaking, I think it makes so much sense that they're not coming out in the States right now. First of all, because of what you said. Probably here's more, they could get more reception, especially like in Germany, where we cannot officially get the Quest, even though I just go to Amazon France and get it 2 days later. It's also no problem at all. But if they came out with this now in the States, like big time, as in you can buy it in any, what do you buy those things? In the Walmart? Can you buy Quest in the Walmart? I don't know.
Yeah, they have their, like, you know how like Xbox stands?
Really? Okay, that's like amazing. That is so cool. Thank you so much, Q2C Gamer there. If it came out in the States like this, and you could buy it anywhere, but then after 6 months they would come out with their successor, everybody would feel like totally like shocked, and they would feel bad about this brand, right? Even people in the States felt bad about the Quest 2 coming out so soon after the Quest 1. And it seems like the successor will come out really soon, right? And it's kind of fair. They kind of let us know by this 35% discount, which is like crazy, right? They said like, okay, for those 22,000 people that buy this headset, we're sorry, something will come out within 12 months, right? So you are going to get a 35% discount on that next headset, on the Pico 4 or whatever it's going to be called. And you will be the first people who are able to buy it, because probably there will be a huge demand because it's so great, and who knows, probably it's the sexy headset that we were hoping for, right? And then suddenly people want it, and then there's too much demand, and only those guys who bought this here will get it, and then they will even get a 35% discount. So yeah, the new thing will come out. They are working on it. Probably it's ready, and it's going to come out in a couple of months or so, I guess. So that means if they came out full force in the States with this, everybody would feel super pissed at them to come out with something better 6 months later, right? So it just makes sense that they have this small launch.
I think they also need to prepare, right? I think they also need to iron out all their delivery channels, all their even production, also the team, the marketing, everything. Right. It doesn't happen like from one day to another. So this is the good for them. That's like, by slightly changing, the Quest and adding like few tweaks and bits and pieces. It's a good preparation. The good preparation for what's coming out. They will iron out all the processes, and then they will be ready to kind of strike maybe also some content, and then they will be able to like strike more vividly against Facebook with their next release probably.
Totally agreed. And also, what's good and what's helping them, they coming out right now. It opens the gates for developers to go to their store, because now they do have this publicity on this on this podcast right now and on others. So for example, Guy Godin from Virtual Desktop, he's porting Virtual Desktop over to the device, right? That's fantastic news for the platform. That means, okay, there will be perfect wireless streaming from that Pico device, Pico 4 or whatever it's going to be called. And yeah, lots of current games who never knew that there's a Pico, now they see, okay, hey, I can make my money there too, and even sell in China and now Europe and soon America on that sexy Cambria competitor. So in my opinion, what they do now with that limited launch, it makes super much sense. Even though, of course, I can understand there's disappointment that you cannot buy it in the States, but if you think about it like this, it makes so much sense. It's a smart thing to do. And then with the Pico Neo 4, they're going to strike in the States, and then they will be competitor to the Cambria. Oh my God, what a perfect bridge to the next topic. yeah, right. Is there anything more to say?
You're killing it.
I'm killing it today. Yeah, wow, really, what an amazing show. Yeah, but I think they will strike against the Cambria. That's what I think. Not against the Quest 2, because they cannot compete against the Quest 2 right now. But if their store is full, if the next device is sexy, which for sure it will be, and also as cheap because they have the money to subsidize it, just like the Quest, I think for the next generation it's going to be Pico against Meta. Would you agree? And PSVR for sure as well. But in standalone,
it's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be an absolute.
And Apple will come.
Exactly.
Oh my, and Valve. Oh my goodness! Everyone will just be talking about VR, and they're going to watch MRTV. Hopefully.
Yeah, you forgot about one headset as well, but
oh
no
yeah,
problem.
oh yeah. Okay, no. Right, exactly. So we're not going to
I'm
talk
the
about
master of Segway.
yeah, you are the master of Segway. Exactly. Oh my goodness, I nearly forgot to talk about the Somnium Space headset. So at the first Somnium Connect, I was in Prague, and you showed it there for the first time, Artur.
Yes.
Are you coming into reality now?
No.
Okay.
My downloading speed just dropped. Do you hear me still or not?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. So do tell us about your headset. So first of all, who is it for? Why do you do it? When will it come out? What specs and how expensive? Only those few questions.
Okay, from everything except the expensive, I already answered on Somnium Connect, but no problem.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Look, I think the whole I can tell that we're doing it like differently, like really, really differently. And I know many people think like, oh, why and what's the point and how you could ever compete and all of these kind of things. But to me, I looked already 1.5 years ago. I looked at the market and I looked at the landscape of the VR headsets and I said to myself, the way how the market right now evolves is that there are several companies, and there will be more, but still there are several companies trying to create a gatekeeping, silos of their platforms controlled by hardware. The only reason why Mark is so excited about Meta and Facebook, apart from hopefully him believing in the metaverse as the platform in general, but he knows that that's next computing platform. And he completely missed the mobile phones. He tried to enter it several times. He missed it severely, and he's being limited right now. He's being killed by not being the platform. And that is why he tries to build it. And to me, and they can tell you like great stories about how metaverse will be enabler for many people, but I don't think that they believe it, right? I think they want to control the platform. They want to control where people are and what people see. And to me, I said, wait, where Somnium will be in like 10 years from now? And one of the big aspects, we're a virtual reality platform. One of the aspects is people need VR headsets to enter Somnium. But if those VR headsets will be closed silos, those silos will be gatekeepers. And I said to myself, we don't want to have any gatekeepers controlling people access to Somnium Space. Like that cannot happen. It just cannot happen. And the second reason to me was, I don't want to live in a world where VR headsets are controlled, by big corporations, and we are being controlled by what you can see, how you can operate within those boundaries. We're all seeing this horrible business tactics by Facebook, copying other competitors, apps and releasing their own apps and things like this. This is just like really bad. And those two factors, I said, look, we have to create our own headset. For number one, we need to let users decide their own, how they access Somnium Space without a permission from any other company. That's number one. Number two, we want to create a headset which, we want to see the market which is more open source, where people buy their hardware and they own their hardware and they can do things with their hardware which they want to do. It's up to them. It's not up to Mark, me, or someone else to decide what they're going to do. So this kind of are two reasons why we created and why we're working on our own headset. Apart from also number three, I thought we can offer something slightly different and also in some cases better than the competition. So, those 1 to 3 reasons brought us to a realization that Somnium has to produce its own headset, and that headset has to be open source, and that headset has to be good, and it has to be something you would want to own, and you would own for rather an extended period of time, and not trying to exchange it in a half a year cycles or so. So things like this. This is the main part.
Okay, so how far are you in that development? Could you share some specs with us, or can you share like?
I mean, the specs which you've seen on the during the presentation are pretty much the specs which we are working on. We're
probably you can reiterate for people who were not at the conference like me.
I mean, there's a long list. I mean, we have a high resolution headset with like 3.5K per eye. It's a screen. We have 512 gigs of storage. We have 8 gigs of RAM.
It's a standalone headset.
XR2 chip. Yeah. It's a standalone headset with a native PC VR mode.
Just like the Pico.
Exactly.
That's a good thing to do.
Correct, of course. I mean, this is something I'm absolutely, as the VR, as a heavy VR user, this is something I absolutely want and need.
It's fun. It's great to have this possibility to have uncompressed video. It looks good.
Exactly. So this is it, and then of course XR2 chip with inside-out tracking. We're also working on our own controllers, and that is something we are trying to bring some cool level of innovation into. And I mean, this is something we're very excited. We're deep into development right now. We, of course, you both are, and I can already invite you to Somnium Connect 2022. Which will happen in Prague, and
okay,
we
cool.
would be.
Yeah, we would love to come. What, right?
Exactly,
Bradley?
and if you exactly, you definitely would be glad to see you there. We'll definitely be showing if everything goes right, because there's hardware development. I've been there many times, and hardware development sometimes is it doesn't suck. No, I don't think so. It's just something.
It's hard.
It's not easy. Exactly. That's why it's called hardware, right? It's not easy. It's something where some things could happen, which could lead to delays. There might be unpredictable delays, and there also might be some delays which we might cause because we would say, hey, let's make this a bit different or better, and it will take us 2 months more. But our goal at this moment is to showcase fully working VR headsets on the Somnium Connect and announce exact dates of deliveries and shipments for probably like Q1-ish 2023. So that is at the moment like a hot news to you. Like that's how we look at the timeline.
That is cool. That is amazing. So,
and a lot of people are working on it. So yeah,
that would be amazing.
We're moving forward.
Probably we all going to meet in Prague. Bradley, that would be amazing, right? That would be cool.
That'd be so cool. I haven't been there before. That'd be great.
Yeah, guys. If you just mark the calendars in Prague in the end of the December,
okay.
like take your wife and bring them to Prague. Prague in during Christmas period is amazing. We'll have a great time. We'll have a great conference this year. We'll try to make it maybe even 2 days, so we'll have more presentations. Maybe even you guys would present as well, as if you have something to present and showcase. Definitely
ourselves,
lots of
very presentable.
Yeah, of course. That's. I meant on top of that. All right, not only that.
I like the idea.
This is something we are very serious about. There is a lot of people, a lot of effort, a lot of capital going into it, and we will continue to work on it as hard and as fast as possible. And probably within a month or two, we will release some more information about the development state. And also some information about the controllers. I can drop some exclusive thing we are trying to. That's not guaranteed, but we are trying to.
Tell us the exclusive thing. That's what we YouTubers are after. That's what
exactly.
we need.
So this is an inside-out tracking headset, but we also try to bring controllers which will also track all 5 fingers. So kind of like, 5-finger tracking, like you have on index controllers, but in a form and shape of closer to what, Quest or Focus 3 controllers. So that is what we are trying to bring in, so that you have that
for Somnium. That makes so much sense. You want
to exactly.
Have that,
I mean, you for social VR, right? And of course, this headset will be open source, so you have full access to Android and to majority of sensors to which we can give you access, right? So you would control your own destiny. You would be able to play Somnium on it, but you can just delete everything.
Is this the tagline? And control your own destiny. Somnium Space headset.
No, this is not a tagline. This is the truth of life. This is hardcore truth of life. That's how it should be. Okay, that's how what I believe in. And this is absolutely. If you pay your own money, you don't want to feel bad about logging in or being able to log in somewhere or use something. You paid it, you own it, you use it. Like, that's very simple. There are very simple things in life, and they have to stay true. So for us, this is, again, this is something where it's strategically absolutely incredibly important for the company to have this headset on, because we cannot afford gatekeepers to control their access. Or our access of our users to Somnium or any other app they want to use, right? So I think the world has to have something like that, and we hope we'll deliver. And I have to give a shout out to another headset which I'm most excited about, apart from, of course, crazy cool VR engineers, super high and no distortion, 210 degrees field of view stuff, which I love to use. But another headset which I think is the most anticipated one is Lynx, because that headset is a killer.
I loved it. Yeah.
It's a killer, and I think that headset has the potential to be the AR headset of the year to come, and of this year and next year. And I think because I'm also the master of segue, because we'll talk about Cambria and other stuff.
Oh, wow.
I think many things, like when I saw your render, by the way, Brad, I think I replied to your tweet or something. I said, hey, that's actually, that's Lynx, like that's exactly something already exists. I had it in my hands. So okay, Cambria, you better bring something good, because I've already seen this in my hands. So so that's another way. And I like how, what Stan is doing and how he approaches stuff. And I think we're aligned there very much. In terms of the vision, and I think exactly companies like ours will push in a complete opposite direction from what other big corporations will want to do, and I think that's where the fight will happen. The fight will happen against open source towards closed ecosystems, and companies like us who they cannot kind of control, against the companies who are trying to really bring all the users under one umbrella. So I think that's the next battlefield, and we cannot lose this fight. It's just impossible. What I say, I'm not saying it overconfident. I'm saying we cannot afford to lose this fight. That's what I mean.
I understand. Yeah, one last question about your headset. Sounds great with the specs. However, it won't be a cheap headset, right? It's not something like Decagear was trying to do. Decagear, they want to do everything,
look,
but then
exactly.
it was too cheap and
Yeah,
they couldn't
exactly.
make it happen.
You look at that and it's okay. How can that be unless someone is completely donating the price? So regarding the pricing, we have not released any pricing yet. It will not be cheap headset. But we also,
Right.
because it's an open source and it's a modular headset, so meaning that you would be able to 3D print some additional add-ons to the headset and fix it to this, and we'll release the connectors so that you can actually 3D print them yourself. We will try to prolong the lifetime of your headset as long as possible. So we give you a great baseline. It's a greatly spec'd headset, and then we hope it will stay with you rather a little bit longer than what is your average headset staying with you. So that's one thing. And another thing is, as I said, our business model is transparent, right? So we could, because when someone like Meta is donating or selling it very cheaply, you immediately ask yourself, okay, how do they make money? And everybody kind of anticipates how. In our case, you would know how, and even if we would, make a discount to someone, for example, landowners might have a discount, or new landowners who purchase or who actively participate in Somnium community. Because if you are a creator and you sell tons of avatars in Somnium, you already generate revenue for us, right? And you might get the headset with a heavy discount because you already generated that revenue. You already earned your money, but also you generated revenue for the platform. So those kind of people will be definitely in an advantage to get a cheaper version of our headset or cheaper headset with a discount.
All right. Got it. Yeah, for all the people who are watching this stream right now, this is the Somnium headset that Artur showed on Somnium Connect 1 in Prague last year. And the man on the right, that is actually the real live Artur.
Not true. Fake news. No, that's me. Yes.
Oh, so funny. Yeah, thank you so much, Hussein X, for your donation. Loved it. Okay, cool. That's going to be really interesting. And yeah, very cool that you dropped that exclusive bit of news that you're trying to show it on Somnium Connect 2 in Prague this year, and that Bradley and me are going to be the first people on Earth to ever put it on.
For real, guys, I would be
a live stream to the interwebs. It's going to be amazing.
I would love to have you there, and I think you would not be disappointed by visiting Prague at least.
Yeah,
that's very least.
Sure. That's for sure.
Also,
you have beers there, so yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, cool, very cool, exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And wow, time is running so fast. I mean, Somnium Connect 1 was just like yesterday for me. And
yeah, I cannot imagine. I cannot believe.
Here we are in April already.
We're already starting to plan exactly the second one. It's incredible.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, first one was very cool, I can say. Yeah, okay. Now we are out of segues, so let's directly talk about now.
Oh my God.
The Cambria. Yeah, the Cambria, Meta's next headset. And the man who has been dominating all the news cycles, the VR news cycles, is here with us. Bradley, you have given us so much information about the Cambria. Tell us how that all came to fruition. When did you first hear how it looks like, and when did the whole Cambria thing become real for you, as in you getting information that you would like to tell the public?
Well, obviously it started with an original render. I got sent a picture. That's all I'm gonna say. The picture.
Here it is. Hi.
Looked like a hello. The picture looked like a final version of what we've seen of Cambria. And this is my fault. I take full responsibility for this. But usually when you're a YouTuber, you want to rush something out there as fast as you can because, hey, you have something special. Just get it out there.
Right.
So I worked with a industrial designer, and he models entirely like the draft in VR. By the way, he uses a VR program to do all the modeling, which was really cool. We got to collaborate in VR. Cool. I got to like mark all the things I wanted him to do with it. And then I released that model to the public because I was like, yeah, this is it. That was the original one right here. And then I have very good friends in the supply chain and some other friends all across the world. And they were like, Brad, this one looks different than the one that you reported a week earlier that's ready for mass production, basically. So you can probably imagine I started freaking out. Like and it was even worse because, you know, there's a lot of VR news journalists that always like to cover what I find and post out there. And I didn't want to, you know, I was honestly terrified at the beginning. And I did a whole stream explaining that. And then I went to bed. Just said, hey, this is not the final version. I went to bed. When I woke up, someone else wanted to help me out. And they sent me what definitely was the real final production version of Cambria.
Okay.
And I went back to my guy, my industrial designer, and I'm like,
oh,
this is it.
Okay.
This is it. And then but before I released that render, that second one, I went to my friends and they were like, okay, yeah.
Is this it? Right? You asked, is this it?
And they were like, yeah, that version you have designed this time, that is what is ready for mass production. And like, it'll look pretty much like that, like 99% accurate. So yeah, like anything else that I do, I always like to stress this enough. I like to call myself a figurehead for a large, passionate community effort. I mean, I couldn't do a lot I do without passionate people. Like on the meta side, Basti564, and who has a YouTube channel, by the way, you can check out. And Somalia, you might remember that name because back in October, there was this Redditor that like said I had a dream and then like wrote out all these exact specifications for a C cliff and all that. It like was weird, and it ended up being obviously not a dream. It was a data miner who got an early kernel of Cambria, and I worked with them a lot to do a lot of the meta stuff. So again, I work hard with these people. I have great relationships with a lot of people, not just for meta, but for Valve when we do data mining Steam VR. It's a great community effort and I love doing it. But yeah, that's pretty much how everything came to be. What you see in my newest render, which I can explain how the camera system even works thanks to data miners. We have a early version of the Cambria firmware, the entire firmware.
Okay.
And we figured out how Meta's doing mixed reality, which is AR through VR. Basically, they call it camera pass through AR sometimes. So the two cameras on the bottom of the bottom left and right.
This is the new one, right? The new.
Yeah. This is the one that it'll be very much like this exactly. So those bottom ones are very fast cameras, but like more lower resolution, similar to what you would get like on a Quest 2 for tracking. And those will be doing a lot of like the depth stuff. There's also an IR projector that's projecting. It's not seeable from the device. It's probably like similar to like a TV remote, where if you have a TV remote, there's an IR thing, but it's covered by the black. Similar that is in this device, so that'll help with a lot of the depth data or capturing depth data of your world. Mm-hmm. But that middle camera on the top is actually the super high resolution 16 megapixel color camera. And that will, with a lot of software magic, they're going to be overlaying that high HD color camera onto what those two cameras are seeing.
Wow,
so
that's cool.
So yeah, people would think that, oh, wouldn't it be easier to just have two high resolution, pass-through cameras to do it? But apparently,
no.
I talked to some people why they might want to do that, and they just said those high resolution cameras are generally not fast enough that what they need it for. And it's better to also get your teams, if you're working toward the AR future, get them working on these computer vision algorithms early, because if they ever want to release like a glasses form factor in the future, they're not going to be having giant, high definition cameras. They're going to be having fast, low resolution cameras to scan the depth of their environment and stuff. So, yeah, it seems to be what Cambria is going to be doing later this year.
Interesting. So these cameras on the side, they are good for tracking the headset, the controllers, or right?
Nope. The side. I mean, so really the ones on the side are definitely for headset tracking. Again, just to remind people how headset tracking works. Usually there's IMUs in a headset, which are basically like compasses. They can see which way you're turning, it's like 3DOF. But those usually drift, so you cannot rely on IMUs alone. So what Meta does is they add cameras that can mark points in your virtual space and make markers so that they can just correct for the drift that these IMUs give.
Okay, that makes
so
sense.
those two cameras are purely just for headset tracking. You're not going to be like doing too much. They're very low resolution, IR cameras.
Okay.
The front two will also be able to do like hand tracking and stuff, just like with the normal Quest and stuff. The controllers, though, I don't know if you have a picture, but the controllers I've seen for Cambria are the same as what were leaked.
Okay. They also have cameras to track themselves, right?
Yeah, exactly. They have their own cameras. They have their own, I believe they're like Qualcomm 400 series chips. So they have their own chips inside to do their own SLAM. And then they process the data and send it to a sync bus directly into the headset to get everything working together. But yeah, those controllers will be able to track themselves alone without really too much of the actual headsets.
What do you think will be the primary use of that headset?
That would have been my question. Perfect.
A lot of people are very conflicted on this. I think the biggest thing is they want to push the mixed reality stuff. Like, I think the entire industry in general is very bullish on mixed reality as like really providing value to consumers. I know a lot of people think that this will not be a consumer device, and yeah, it's not going to be a consumer gaming device or anything. Like, it won't be a game console, but I think they are going to use mixed reality and like have a higher social experience, because this thing does have eye and face tracking. That's confirmed. It's just they're just trying to pack in a ton of different features to add more value for consumers, for sure. They might try to push productivity and like all these other things, but I think they're going to really try to focus on the AR aspects, especially.
Okay, but here
I'm afraid that like we like, I think like if we talk about Meta and stuff, like we haven't yet competed or completed the VR level, and we're already trying to enter the AR level. I understand that for them, this is the fundamental device if we want to come to a normal glasses form factor. So they have to go through those steps, and whatever users they can get to use it, the more data they'll get, the more better they will get in it. So I think that's the main part. But I just try to find like, like if you give me today AR glasses, which I can put into my phone and use the phone interface with fully working AR glasses, I'm buying, because that's the utility use. I'm all for it. But if you give me AR glasses like Cambria, right, and it's not intended for professionals and intended like for me as the let's say end consumer, I would have a problem to find like this solution. Like, do I need another headset to walk around my flat and like do some AR stuff? Not sure. I mean, I'm a hardcore VR user. I'm all for AR, VR, blah blah blah. But like that is hardcore. And I think that's where Lynx is good, because Lynx is more primarily for like the B2B use, and there's a great stuff for that, and there's a lot of things coming up. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to hear your opinion. Like, who is this headset for? Like, who will use it and why?
Well, I think if you're a company like Meta personally, and even Apple, I know there's a lot of debate on this, but I don't think if you're a large company like Meta or Apple, you're not releasing a device for businesses. I just think it doesn't make sense personally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
But and I know what you mean. Like, okay, like even explaining how the AR works for this device, it doesn't sound perfect, right? It sounds kind of like thrown together. It sounds thrown together a little bit, but it's obviously more research than that. I think every headset we've had until now, and every headset that's going to come out even the next few years, is still a transitionary piece of technology for the medium.
I agree.
It's all about getting developers and users accustomed to new things step by step. Like when they released Cambria, I mean, okay, it's just like, let me say it this way. Quest 2, they added the pass-through API. Obviously, the pass-through API is garbage on the Quest 2. Like, it's basically unusable because it's just the quality of the pass-through is terrible. No consumers will want to spend time in it.
But this device, yes, this is going to be good. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, but they gave that availability early to get users and mostly developers accustomed to the idea that, hey, AR glasses, clear glasses, that's still super far away. Stop dreaming about that anytime soon. But hey, we can take fast cameras, do a lot of cool computer vision stuff with it, and then have a better experience that makes your headset not just for VR, but maybe had some more functionality that's closer to the AR that everyone dreams of in the industry. So I think that this device they're releasing this year is another big transition point into that. And I also even think that this device that they're releasing this year is only going to be around for a year before it's replaced, to be honest. Completely.
Yeah. With the
I
one
also think that it might
you
cannibalize
leaked
a little
first.
bit Quest as well. That it might eat from Quest sales, depending on how good they will do it. Because like Lynx, I
Depends
love
on the
the idea
price
that
as
you can
well.
make you can make a VR headset out of Lynx and it will work well. Like if that's the case for Cambria, then I think like many people say, wait a second, why would I
Yeah.
buy Quest if I can just do this, and have that?
But that would be my next question. Have you heard from your sources if there will be light leakage? I mean, that's the first thing. When I saw this picture, I mean, lots of people asked you this question, I think, right? Hey, what's here with the light leakage? Because it looks like there would be so much light coming in. So is it like the Lynx that they want people to look outside, or probably there doesn't come any light come in? You think so? Oh.
Yeah,
Really?
the first thing. I talked to someone that had really good proof, is all I can say, that they tried the device.
Okay.
I'm not. It's funny because NDAs are supposed to stop people from doing stuff, but this NDA ended up doing the opposite. But basically, yeah. So this person tried it, and they basically said that when they first tried it on, because they're only used to the Quest 2, yeah, it was distracting immediately at first, the light leakage
To
from
see,
this device.
okay, yeah. Interesting.
But he did say after spending more time with it, he stopped really caring about the light leakage, which is very interesting. I'm surprised to hear
for the
that.
Very
Lynx,
surprised.
I think for the Lynx headset, actually, the ability to see with the peripheral vision the surroundings, and you can confirm it. Like that's a sale point. That's not
That's a
actually
cool thing.
distraction.
Exactly.
That's
There
a
was
cool thing.
for mixed reality,
So-
it was perfect actually.
Yes.
So I do think it was a design decision for sure, 100%.
But then for those people who are VR fans, like complete VR fans, and then they will not like it because they want to delve into VR and forget about their children, which are running.
But then they will
around.
have a different headset, probably.
Yeah, right.
And that's the question. If
Probably
they would
they will
do
have
like
the Quest 2 then, and not this.
hopefully not, but probably.
Yeah, most probably. But
Speaking
then,
of,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, so when these companies plan a device, they usually have to like let the supply chain know more than a year in advance. So just to get people really thinking about how serious Meta is already, this device, they've said many times that this device they're releasing, features will end up in the Quest line, like the standard Quest line, right? I got word that the supply chain's already talking to Meta about Quest 3, and like they're really wanting to push Quest 3 like next year for sure. So like even if this is not a close off your world VR console, a lot of the features in here will be able to be reproduced in a cheaper Quest 3 anyway, probably within a year after this releases. So
that makes sense. So do you know what kind of panels will be used in this device?
Oh yeah, that's 100% confirmed. It's 2160 by 2160 per eye mini LED.
Okay, that should be nice then. Mm-hmm.
Really, it's the panels are not that special, but the lenses, I've heard really good things about these lenses. I've asked a lot of questions to people that have tried it and reported their experiences to me. So pancake lenses are not really a new technology, but they're starting to catch on with these large companies, obviously. I mean, you could see the form factor they enable for this device. It looks super great, super thin. The biggest issues with pancake lenses from like off the shelf companies like Arpara. I know you tried Arpara.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No light is coming through them, right?
Yeah. So
like,
that's one
so
issue inherently for sure. But that's actually more to do with the panel, by the way, in that headset. It's very not bright enough for it.
Yeah.
But anyway, usually pancake lenses have issues with ghosting and there's one other issue. Holy frick. Oh, and then like on the edges, you might get some like color distortion as well.
Exactly. Oh yeah, a lot. It was getting brown for the Para.
Yeah. the lenses that Facebook built for this device are clear, like more clear than anything that we've seen so far from lenses. So like very well made. I'm sure it's just another stepping stone, because another cool thing about Pancake designs, I've been posting a lot about this on my Twitter, but Pancake designs are going to be very useful to enable next generation features. Like we might see stuff like, I posted a video about like wobulation, which they can have solid state wobulation with a liquid crystal layer in a Pancake form factor. If you guys remember Half Dome or Half Dome 3, especially, that with the varifocal layers, that was a Pancake lens design. So these are all things that fit very well in a Pancake form factor. So when I say this is a transitionary piece of technology, again, they'll be able to build off of this more and more with newer lenses, newer displays to really get to that next level that we're all dreaming for when it comes to XR compared to what we have for Quest 3, for example.
Okay, that sounds actually cool. Looking forward to try this out then. But I can also remember when I watched your footage that you said the person was not like blown away, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So how is it possible, Brad? With those lenses?
Definitely, I definitely feel they're held back by the chip still. Like even though they're going to have better cooling for the XR2 chip, I know Facebook's working. I've heard that Facebook has been working, and I heard this since the beginning of this year, that they're working hard on the next chip for them. Apparently with Qualcomm is what I heard, and it's going to be like way more powerful than XR2. Also, I've heard from the supply chain that the supply chain itself expects an XR2. Now they're calling it XR2 Gen 2, but back then they were calling it XR3 to be available next year. But for this device, the people have not been blown away for the VR capabilities. None of the people I've tried it been able to try the mixed reality stuff at all yet, because like they weren't testing it. Yeah. Okay. One person, actually I can't say that. Well, so for the VR side of things, this didn't feel too different from Quest 2 for them, and you can tell from the specs. Like the resolution is not much better. It's using a type of LCD, which I'm very vocal about LCDs compared to upcoming display technology. I think is going to take off very fast in VR. But from micro the VR
OLED,
portion,
I know you like micro OLED.
I love micro OLED. I love it. Next year, by the way, I think it was projected that 15 million high quality micro OLED displays will ship in VR headsets, mostly from tier 1 companies next year. So if that's 2 per device, that means 7 million headsets. And if Apple reportedly wants to sell 1.5 million headsets that is confirmed to have 2 micro OLED, you just think about all the other competitors that are going to be releasing micro OLED headsets next year. But by
the way, we're actually for Somnium headsets is another thing. I've told it in the Somnium Connect, but we are actually in parallel. We have a team who are researching and preparing the micro OLED variant. We'll probably not release it as the micro OLED variant, but we'll be fully ready and tested until that time to be ready to do that, maybe in the second iteration, or maybe it's an upgrade or it's a variant, but we're doing it in the parallel. So it's more work for us, but definitely worth the try.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea for sure. Like I really do believe, and I say this in all my videos, it won't come to like the Quest 3, which is a cheaper device. But I think if you're working on high-end headsets like Cambria or Apple or Valve, I do think micro OLED is going to surprise people and how fast it catches on for these high-tier headsets. Like it's all the supply chain talks about for VR is how many micro OLED fabs are popping up and all this stuff. And it's not the low-quality displays that are in like our Para. Like those are honestly low quality. We're seeing the big companies invest a ton of money in it. So,
and also some surprise companies.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be a very interesting year still ahead of us. So this Cambria, it's most probably not going to be like like a cheap device, right? I read from you, I know that the bill of materials is probably $800, which is kind of expensive.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive. To compare, a Pro Series iPhone of the latest generation is around $500 to $550, and that's already pretty expensive when you think about. That doesn't even count all the research, R&D costs, and like everything else that you got to pay for. I'm not sure if this is true, but some analysts in the supply chain that I really do trust a bit, they do think that this Cambria model is going to be subsidized. And if the number I'm hearing is true, this could be even more chaotic to the XR industry than Quest 2, I would say. Like, it's obviously going to be way more expensive than Quest 2, but again, taking into account the bill of materials and the number I'm hearing, it's like, if that's true, like, holy crud, this is
So you think this is going to be cheap because Meta is going to subsidize the freaking hell out of it?
So I've heard a number that I've heard that the Quest 2 was sold at $200 below the bill of materials. That's what I heard at launch.
Okay.
And I'm hearing numbers similar to that for Cambria. So if that ends up being true, that would be ridiculous. Like, honestly, I think that would be crazy.
But
I'm not sure if it's true or not, though.
I'm also thinking $600 would make sense for this device. But then at $600, I don't think it's going to be this kind of mass market craze where YouTubers try to hype it like crazy type of headset. I don't think it's going to happen.
But to hype something up, you need a clear use case, and that's where I'm kind of I'm struggling, because for Quest, easy use case. You put it on, you have the games, boom, you're done. But to make people play AR games or mixed reality games in a way that it makes a lot of sense, like, I'm just trying to understand, like, who would be that person who would be buying it? We all obviously will buy that. We'll test the hell out of it.
Buy it on day one,
yeah,
obviously.
But that's not enough, right? That's not enough. Because you need also
I think
a killer use case. You need a clear. But even for the enthusiasts, like to justify $500 or $600, whatever we are like discussing here as the price, that's not nothing. That you have to kind of know why you're buying it.
But you have to think about. Sorry to interrupt, but you have to think about it this way. The supply chain really does believe that Apple's headset will be announced late this year for like full on releasing.
What do you think? It's a AR, VR, or mixed reality one?
I think it's mixed reality, 100%.
Yeah.
And what will be the Apple use case? What do you think?
Well, that's why I'm saying, like, we can only, like, there's so many guesses on what the use case is, but when they announce it and they show off the software they built for it, there's going to be a new light, like a new fire in the industry for sure. So I think what Cambria, like, I really think Meta fears Apple more than anything compared to any other company, obviously. Like, they have their own platform, they have their own ecosystem. They can sell anything at any price, honestly. It's ridiculous what they sell for. So even at Apple prices, if they have a mixed reality headset and they show off all this hype on what mixed reality can do for the average person, Cambria can just be like, okay, well, we have a much cheaper device than Apple, and we can considerably do the same thing,
But there's a big difference. Apple has a LiDAR in all of their iPhones and iPads, and Facebook doesn't. And that is a big, big difference. Apple has been preparing for this moment for years. Facebook, I don't know how. What will Quest help? I don't know. Like the data from Quest, because we know that Quest sends a lot of data back, but still, like, the magnitude of the quality of data and the amount of data Apple has from the LiDARs is somewhere completely elsewhere than what Facebook has. So again, yes, I believe that Apple is really well positioned to deliver something like that. I personally believe that, or I believe that they have like AR glasses working with iPhone. That will be the killer app to my knowledge. But again, if it's a mixed reality glasses for Apple, and I'm hearing like different, opinions,
it's going to be
pass through,
and
you would watch how would you play games together? Maybe you have some really cool like mixed reality things, like meetings with relatives and stuff. Okay, I can imagine Apple doing
watching content
like
in VR.
Facebook doing it. I have harder time imagining them killing it in that sphere. So
I think that's why the supply chain expects heavy subsidies, because they're not in a better position as Apple is. Like you say, like Apple, they've even made a huge, like, recently they announced they had a huge content partnership with the NFL, right, where they're going to stream whatever. Meta has nothing like that, so they can bring even the sports fans a use case potentially with MR or AR by just like saying, hey, we'll give you a free NFL subscription if you watch a mixed reality version, like a giant screen in your living room that you don't have to buy a TV for anymore. Like they can just
Didn't
do.
Facebook buy an XVR?
That was
Netherlands
Apple.
No,
company?
that was
That was
Apple.
Apple,
That's
right?
why.
That was
That's why
Apple.
I'm saying, okay, think about watching
Yeah.
content, watching that football or baseball game in that device as if you were in the stadium. They can make it happen now because they have the content, and they will have the glasses and the quality to make it look incredible. Like just how incredible it felt when you got your first iPhone and swiped. It was just
And
wow.
and I've heard, I mean, this is obvious because Apple just, they have so much, not just sway with consumers, but the supply chain. Their control over the supply chain is absurd. And I was told, when I was also being told that the supply chain expects them to release definitely next year, is some of the components in their MR headset is going to be a year of what their competitors can get. And like that, these kind of things
Right.
all mixed together, like
A lot of time, yeah. Year is a
Meta
lot.
literally cannot make as a state of the art device at the same time as Apple because they don't have that up capability. The Apple headset's going to
Yep.
have micro OLED displays. It's probably going to be the first of its kind that are this high quality. Like, you know, it's like all these things together is just, I don't think Cambria can compete directly on the high end, super high end, but if they can like at least be a subsidization competitor, maybe they have a chance, you know?
Yeah.
Do you is there a parallel reality in your opinion where Apple releases some sort of headset and it flops? How much percentage chance do you give that something like this could happen? Because if that happens, it could be pretty bad for the industry.
It would be bad, yeah.
But like, what
don't think
is
it's gonna happen.
what
So I think
what are the percentages of what are the chances of that happening?
I think they would not release something unless they really thought it was going to take off. Like if you follow the room, I mean, obviously Apple headset rumors have been going on for almost a decade, like ridiculously long amount of time. And you can see all the different, like based on the rumors, if you follow the entire timeline, you can see that they've had different devices at each cycle that they were expected to release. Like I think it was expected originally they were going to release a headset in like 2019. It was going to be required like wireless connection to some sort of box, like something. Well, obviously that they decided that was not going to be good for consumers. We got to push for standalone. So then, you know, they started making their own silicon and have this a huge advantage to have their own standalone compute power and everything. So I don't really think they're going to fail. Like I think it's very low percentage they're going to fail. Like I know that they only expect 1.5 million in the first year, which is pretty low compared to Apple numbers. But I remember the Apple Watch Generation 1 when it came out, it kind of wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that big, right? True. Yeah, it wasn't big at first, but within a few generations, everyone has an Apple Watch now, right? Like I think it's going to be very similar to that, honestly.
Could be. So I think right now we all know that Meta or Facebook is dominating the VR market, but next year, in my opinion, they will be attacked from many different angles. From Apple, from the top with that super high-end device,
absolutely,
right? And then, but also from the bottom, from the Pico successor. I think they will go to the States, and it's going to be like a sexy device, which is going to be cheap, also subsidized like crazy from ByteDance. And they will come from the bottom with a cheap, sexy device.
And that is why he's so nervous.
And from the side with the PSVR 2, you know, with a like a similar price device, which is going to be amazing. So from all the sides, there will be serious competition that they right now don't have. So it is going to be a tough year, 2023 for Meta, in my opinion. And I do believe they will lose that kind of dominance that they have now, where they can simply do what they do, like the forced Facebook login.
And the biggest problem is from the company management side is they're entering this phase of being of having a lot of competition. They're entering it from a weaker position than many of their competitors, and that is a very uncomfortable position to be, because imagine they kind of in the beginning they kind of created that market. And now they start losing that market to some of the upcoming, you know, competitors, you know, like Pico and others, and even crazy guys like us who are coming in and saying like, hey, okay, open source everything, go do whatever you want. Yeah. Like they will, as I said, they will have a problem, and they're already having a problem. That's why sometimes they would probably try to do things faster than they would have done them if they would be,
Could be.
feel comfortable, and this will even worsen their position. And that's kind of like how the death spiral becomes the reality. And it's very hard to exit the death spiral unless you do something crazy, like Elon buying Twitter and changing it completely. Like unless you do something like that, you cannot have so Mark has to really turn around things and fire half of the stuff and say, okay, we do completely different things and we are going this direction. Is that happening? I don't know, but I'm just saying
I think my final thought on all of this, people have always talked to me about how they're so depressed about the lack of competition and everything that Meta has over this market.
They will love it.
The more
they will have it.
The more I started doing this, looking at all these companies and what hardware they are, the less the more I realized this lack of competition phase is dead already, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's
I agree.
over.
100%.
So
agree.
Yeah, so I think that there's a chance that just like how people thought BlackBerry back before the iPhone was just gonna dominate forever.
Nokia was dominating like crazy.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Okay, we might have a Nokia moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. I think that's the perfect thing at the end of this show. We've been talking for 2.5 hours. There was
amazing,
an incredible show. I loved this show, and I do believe that the audience loved it too. If you did, give it a thumbs up right now. That's what we need, we YouTubers. Give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Subscribe also, of course, to Sadly It's Bradley. Absolutely do that. And for Somnium Space, absolutely subscribe to their Twitter feed. Artur is doing so many things on Twitter.
You can do it. I'm not saying you not to do it. So up to you guys.
Up to you guys. Right. Yeah, right. So that was simply amazing. Thank you so much to Artur to do this amazing, not even stunt. It was just a normal life for you to be in VR, to be in Somnium Space, and to go on talk shows like this. Thank you so much for this.
What I'm doing right now is pretty not normal, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not super used to that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So anyways, thanks for that. And of course, thanks to Bradley for taking the time to come on the show. That was amazing to hear directly from you and not always to just report about what you found out. That's amazing. And again, wow, I love your YouTube channel, and you're one of the few YouTubers that I really enjoy watching. And thumbs up for your YouTube channel.
Absolutely. And you all heard it. You're both coming to Prague, right? In December.
Oh yeah. Now my camera also died. That's perfect. I don't care. It has been a fantastic show. Thank you so much for watching this show. And for all of you out there who have not yet given the Next Dimension podcast a 5-star review on iTunes, do that now. If you enjoy the show, do that. Get your podcast app out on your iDevice, find the Next Dimension podcast, and give this show a 5-star review and tell people about this show. It's a very, very good show, I would say. Yep, that is everything that we got for today. Thanks, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you.
Yeah, we're still online here for a moment before I go offline. This is the cool down show. And I am going to try to have another camera on. Wait a minute. Yeah, my camera overheats sometimes, which sucks. Yeah, how did you enjoy it here? Did you like it on the show, Bradley?
I love coming on podcasts. Honestly, I always wish that people would invite me more because I like to.
Okay, good to know. I can invite you again.
Absolutely.
Hey, Bradley, I have a VR show if you want to come in. Would be great to chat.
Oh,
I love this. I love talking. I love ranting. I love talking. I love getting my. It feels like I have always a lot of stuff on my brain, and I need to get them out. So this is great.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's perfect. Yeah, I will totally invite you again to the show, of course. And also, Artur, is always a pleasure to talk with you. If you're in Somnium or not, it's always lots of insight, and loved it so much. Yeah, great. So for all the people who are watching, thanks again for watching. Leave a thumbs up and do leave a comment how you liked today's show. That also helps the algorithm. Those long shows normally don't do very good on the YouTube algorithm, so you need to push it a bit by commenting and sharing this. Yep, but now that's everything we got. Bye-bye, dear audience. That's it.